Make sure
Hello,
you push
everybody.
that button.
I did push the button. I
You
pushed
push
the
the
button.
button? Oh,
Yes.
it's a big red button. It makes you crash faster.
Well, that would be for orcs, and tonight is not about orcs. Hello, everybody.
What? It should be about orcs. It's always about orcs, and it always leads to the war in heaven.
I mean, the war in heaven. Oh my god. I'm reading The Infinite and the Divine right now, and the comments about the war in heaven in it. I'm just like, this book is so good. I got to tell you guys, it's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Lorebeards 40,000, and we're going to do some fun things today. What are we doing today, Alexis?
Today, we are building a buffet for Tyranids.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I meant we're building some dead warriors. Sorry. Anyway, we're building an Eldar Craftworld today, and I am actually excited about this. I'm going to make a couple of jokes about it because Eldari Craftworlds are one of those things that are just, they are all over the place, but they're always dying. So it's like, how many are there? There's enough the writers need, but now we're adding our own.
You know, when I was working on the 40K roleplay line, I did talk to Games Workshop several times because we always wanted to do an Eldar campaign book, basically a core book. We wanted to have a way to play as Eldari, and it was always from the perspective of a craft world. Like that was my way of thinking about it. And the discussions that we had with Games Workshop always kind of revolved around the idea that the Eldar were a race in their twilight. They were diminished, and they were diminishing, and they were fading. And that is, I would argue, one of the most core elements of the faction in general, is that they are the remnants of a once great empire that are slowly, very, very slowly dwindling.
And too bad they didn't take the D&D approach to like saving the Eldar. Just breeding with the humans.
Oddly enough, the first edition 40K Rogue Trader does feature a Space Marine who is half Eldar. So it's a little weird. For sure.
He was reintroduced into 40K's lore as a full Eldar, mind you, but still as like an advisor to Gilliman. And
there's
I
also
thought that was really cool.
Captain Typhon is also half alien, which I believe is the Space Marine version of that in 30K, which we will talk about Typhon sometime. He's going to get his own episode. But before we get too far, we should talk about who we are and why you should care about what we think.
So, yeah, that is important. So, Ross, who are you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Ross Watson. I am a game designer and author. I've worked on a bunch of 40K video games, and I wrote a whole bunch of Warhammer 40K role-playing game books. And I worked on the US White Dwarf team for a couple of years, and that is why I know 40K pretty darn well. And who are you, Norn Queen Alexis?
Hi, everyone. I'm Norn Queen Alexis. I'm a video game streamer, a Viking reenactor, which has nothing to do with this, but I'm always going to bring it up. I play way too much Warhammer. I have a scheduled 10,000 point game between two people coming up, me and a friend of mine. And I got into 40K around 4th edition and decided to make it everyone's problem.
I feel like you're stealing some of my lines, but
I
love that
stealing
one.
It. It is a good line.
I decided to make it everyone's problem. I dig that. Okay. I should mention there is a cool thing that we are doing with Lorebeards now, and that is if you see something that you really like or think is really cool and memorable during the show, please drop us a line with the timestamp in the Discord under 40K clip share, and we will credit you when we put up a short or something like that combines all the best clips. So that is an assignment for you, the viewer, if you feel like you want to be part of our show. Czark Quaitian, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm doing my best. Czar Quaitian says, "Let's build a craft world" is just another way of saying let's meal prep for Slaanesh.
It really is, though.
Does Slaanesh subscribe to Factor? Are we preparing a box?
We're preparing a craft world for them.
Delicious.
Boy, Kraft mac and cheese.
That joke has been around ever since I started playing Warhammer back in the late 90s. That the craft worlds were considered cheesy, so craft cheese were. Oh God, yeah, those are the days.
Their wraith constructs do look like cheese pulls.
You know, before we get into the builds, I do want to ask Alexis about something because she's been streaming classic 40K games online. And one of the most notorious of these is Fire Warrior. Alexis, how's that going?
Oh my god. Okay. So, I just beat Armageddon, which Armageddon is one of the only games that's from the classic bundle that does not say it's not canon. Most of the other games say it was not canon. But holy shit, Fire Warrior is terrible. It is so much worse than I remember. My mouse sensitivity skyrocketed, so I was just like, oh, okay, let me just, change that in the options. Do you know what the options were? To change the audio. Do you know what the only audio you could change is? Sound effects.
Oh my god.
So the music is insanely loud, the voicing is insanely low, you can't hear anything, and everything is just, I want to throw rocks at everything. But I was like, oh, let me get out my controller and charge it off screen. Okay? So I charged it. It doesn't work unless you have a PS2 emulator to use through Steam to play it. It is so bad. But if you want to watch me lose my mind, you can check out this name right here. I do a lot of streaming. Ross, you also do a lot of streaming. You're playing Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah, I'm struggle bussing my way through Baldur's Gate 3. It's twitch.tv/VRossWatson for me if you want to catch me on Twitch. And I will be also playing some classics. I would like to play Final Liberation.
I highly recommend Armageddon.
Okay.
Like, I hated that game going into it, and I wanted to hate that game. Absolutely. At the end of it, I was just like, this is an absolutely amazing game. This is a really good, I love this game.
But that is not what we are here to talk about today. Today, we're here to talk about building an Aeldari Craftworld. And I'm excited, you guys. We put some time into this one about our options, and I'm going to let Alexis discuss some of those options right after we read this awesome super chat from Super Orlock. Super Orlock says, what do you mean? Fire Warrior killed Halo.
Okay. Ross, do you know about this?
No, I don't.
THQ put out an announcement in Game Informer that Fire Warrior was going to be a better selling game than Halo.
Oh my god.
And seriously? Fire Warrior was one of 2 failure. Actually, I think they made a total of 5 failed games for Games Workshop. And technically, I am counting Space Marine 1 as a failed game. It failed when it launched. It only got good afterwards.
You know, I can actually speak to that. I was at Vigil, which was a THQ studio. And when that game came out, I was like, what are you doing? Because they picked a time frame that was within a couple of weeks of Gears of War.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, why would you possibly try to put anything up against Gears of War right now? That was a horrible idea. The timing on the release certainly had an impact, I would argue.
It sucks because you can see that they put a lot of passion into Space Marine, not Fire War. Fire War is just fucking terrible. Like, you can't even stop to look at the ambience around you. You just have to keep running because enemies constantly spawn. Anyway, we are building a craft world, okay?
We're
right. Building and it's going to be better than Fire Warrior.
It'd be difficult to be worse.
Yeah, you're right.
This is fun. This is why I enjoy these streams, is because we get to talk shit about some things that deserve to have some shit talked about them.
Yeah.
You know who does not deserve this shit though is Craftworld, and especially one of the things I love about this channel is building stuff with our community. We've built some amazing things. You can go back and look at our Space Marine chapter, our Chaos War bands, our Rogue Trader, which is still my favorite episode, and our Orc Freebooter, just to name a few.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah, the Orc Freebooter is really good and very Necron-y, which I thought was hilarious. But tonight we're going to build an Aeldari Craftworld. Eldari, of course, are very close and near and dear to my heart because they were my first army for 40K. Craftworld Eldar specifically. So this is going to be fun. Let's talk. Why don't you tell everybody about the first options?
I have a question for you first.
Sure.
To you, strictly Ross, not Ross that used to work with Games Workshop, but strictly to you, are Eldari becoming too human looking in current media?
I
Because
don't.
remember, back in the day, they had these like really long limbs. They were fragile. They had the big long ears, and they had the black orbed eyes. But nowadays, they just look like people.
Well, I mean, so for me, Craftworld Eldar are always going to be Jess Goodwin's art sketches. I have the Jess Goodwin art book upstairs, and it's just fantastic. So as long as it looks kind of like that, it's probably going to look fine to me. They have evolved in their appearance over time. Like originally, they had like these hoses that connected their mouths to their chests, and they had a lot of more insectile helmets, which I don't know if you remember those.
I do.
But I kind of like the current aesthetic of the Eldar, and honestly, I thought like when the Farseers came out in the Dawn of War series without a helmet for the first time, I was like, oh, that's cool. We get to see their faces. Like I don't know. I guess I'm okay with it.
The reason I bring this up is because I always viewed those differences of the Eldari as like almost different ethnicities of Eldar.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Because like that is the Eldar. They are one big species, but there could be differences between them.
Oh, I mean, each faction is subdivided into numerous groups. Like the Craft Worlds are not a unified monolith of a faction. They are split amongst ideological lines. And I mean, oddly enough, the most unified are maybe the Drukhari, maybe.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Which is very strange. But then, even the Drukhari have, pretty vast gulfs in between some of their little subgroups, like the homunculi versus the witches versus the trueborns, for example, which we need to do an episode on the Drukhari in general. I think that'd be something fun to do.
What?
Oh, Alexis, did you see the rumor engine? Eldar Exodites, maybe. Ooh, rumor engine. Zar Quaitian.
Dude, you are getting my hopes up right now, and I want you to know that my hopes are up to here now. If you just mentioned Battlefleet Gothic, I think I'd lose my fucking mind. Like, oh yeah, Eldar on dinosaurs and Battlefleet Gothic, Alexis, here. Spend all your money. Give it to GW.
Oh my God. Exodites would be a big, big deal.
Oh yeah.
And God, we've been waiting for them forever, so that'd be pretty wild. It's a dino mouth, he says. Okay, well, interesting.
Don't do this to me.
Could be Seraphon though. Could be Seraphon related. Could frankly be a lot of different things. There's a lot of things that deal with dinosaur adjacent things. Could be old worlds.
It's gonna be the damn Talaran riding that weird dinosaur they had in Forge World.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. But yeah, I'm with you, Wolf Boy. Give us Dino Elves. I'm down.
Oh yeah, Wolf Boy is from Wales. Make sure you're aware of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That means he can speak a language I cannot, which is Welsh. So Alexis, would you like to read off the options for our very first entry on the creating a craft world?
So the origins of departure. When and how did our craft world leave the dying empire? Okay, we have 4 different options here. Okay, good. There were 4. I did actually check before I said that. So, did they heed the seers? Heed? I can speak, I promise. English is my first language, after all. Heeded the seers early. The Craftworld's Farseer perceived the coming fall of the Aeldari, and thus they were just like, "Yo, GTFO, get out of here, get your shit, we're leaving." Or did they did they flee from chaos? This Craftworld departed in the final terrible weeks before Slaanesh's birth. Its decks were crowded with refugees, some of them already half mad with psychic screaming that preceded the fall. Or were they separated by an ancient war? Possibly with their gods themselves, maybe. But anyway, the Craftworld was cut off from the old empire by a war against a now forgotten enemy, and had always drifting independently for centuries. I could speak, I promise. I'm just tripping over my words right now because I read faster than I talk, and then I just garble all of the words together. Good job, dyslexia. I love you. Built from the ruins of another. This craft world is not original. It was assembled from the surviving craft world, from survivors of a craft world destroyed long ago. Its infinity circuits seeded and from shattered spirit stones. Its culture a patchwork of grief and what is that? Determined reconstruction. I don't know which one I like the best.
I like the one about built from the ruins. I like the idea that it was it's not the original, that there is an older craft world sort of underneath it. But
Okay.
I think all of them are entirely valid. And I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to get your votes in, and then we will close that down and go to the next section of the craft world. Heating the seers early, though, that could be interesting because you could be like, you could determine a lot from the fact that they did see it coming and decided to do something about it. God knows,
Yeah.
I would love to see more of that in America.
What?
For example.
Anyway,
the trauma of fleeing from the birth of Slaanesh is also a big. That's important and interesting. I like that idea too.
I like Separated by an Ancient War. It's kind of like they had a fight with the Quirks before it started.
Oh, I mean, Quirks would be a good enemy.
Yeah,
and
they are a forgotten enemy.
You know, I was looking into the episode on the War in Heaven because I've been reading Infinite and the Divine. And you remember how we talked about the enslaver plagues being the end of the old ones? I want to point, I should mention here and right now, Games Workshop's been very much stepping away from that in their descriptions of the War in Heaven. The most recent descriptions of the War of Heaven say that it ended due to unspecified plagues and unspecified warp activities. So I feel like they're backgrounding and stepping away from enslavers as a thing, which is, fine because they don't have any models for them, and that makes a certain amount of sense. But it does mean when we talk about the War in Heaven, we need to be a little less. It was definitely the enslavers, because that's apparently lore that is being
slowly retconned out.
Yeah. All right, let's end the poll and see what we got. Like Godzilla Rex, the old ones live. All right, the poll says
stomp.
Separated by an ancient war.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot because I can think of like them working side by side with the Quirks, and the Quirks, like, they're still devious orcs, but even more devious is the Eldar. You never truly trust them. But we did have a question here that I really liked. Rush 21129. So did the Craft World's construction begin after the warning of Slaanesh, or were they already pre-built?
My favorite answer: it depends. Some craft worlds were already fleeing from the degeneracy of the Empire, of the ancient Eldari Empire. They did this long before there were any warning signs, and some craft worlds departed while there were warning signs. It's not, there's not any one monolithic answer I can give on that one.
Yeah. I always view the craft worlds as these massive monolithic ships that are the ones that travel real space. They can go through the webway, obviously, but
craft worlds do not go through the webway.
They don't.
No, the small, anything smaller than a craft world goes through the webway. As far as I'm aware, there are not craft world sized tunnels in the webway.
Oh, and speaking of craft worlds, not craft worlds, the tunnels. What are the? Oh my God, brain work. Webway. Did you hear about the shock attack webway creator?
The what now?
Yeah, Orchimedes is at it again, creating a weapon that creates a timed tubular dimension that allows Gosgill's units to fly anywhere in the galaxy. Does that sound familiar?
That's bizarre.
Orcs only lose like a quarter of their fleet when doing it. So great success for them.
That's amazing. Now, I want to add just a little bit of detail here for the ancient war. Who were we fighting? I mean, Quirks Quirks
Oh,
are the
I
most
know.
obvious, but what are the other options?
So it's got to be Quarks, Zotes. If we want to be funny, Jacaro. Let's put the monkey on the list,
Okay.
and then maybe I want to say a Gene Stealer cult, because Gene Stealers
That's too
that's way too early.
way too early for that.
But Gene Stealers were arriving in the system at this point,
So I would say
but it was after the birth.
enslavers are a possibility.
Yep.
Crooks are a very possible thing. You wanted me to add Jacaro just for fun?
Yeah, Jacaro, like monkeys with digital lasers, like finger lasers.
What's the fourth option?
It can't be Necrons because Necrons is still well known.
Yeah, and they weren't awake. If it was ancient, they would not be awake.
Oh no! Oh, I see the answer, and
yeah?
I know the answer.
Crud.
Do you want to rip your hair out yet?
Is it Crud?
It's Crud.
All right. Well, I'll throw Crud in there. So the poll is up. Everybody vote on who we were fighting. I need to take that comment down there really quick. So,
now, out of those four, which ones would you want it to be?
Quirks again make the most sense, and I think that would be, if I had to just reflexively pick one, I'd pick Quirks.
Well, I want monkeys with freaking laser beams on their freaking fingers.
Jacaro. The idea of the enslavers is also, I mean, I'm a big enslaver guy. I involved the enslavers in my own Space Marine chapter.
Clip that.
Wow. Alexis, you're killing me today. Killing me. Absolutely killing me. Anyway, I love in the universe of Warhammer 40,000, I like the enslavers as a xeno species, and I've used them with my own Space Marine chapter. The Storm Wardens, they have a history with the enslavers. So
wait, the part of the Eldar, that was what? The birth of Slaanesh happened during the human empires existed, right?
Well, we were still on Terra. This is the end of the Age of Strife arrives when the Eldari Empire has the fall of the Empire happens.
We could have made a Kroot.
I mean, technically.
Yeah, Kroot existed at this time.
Sure. I mean,
still
according to the lore, they were uncontacted. So, but you know,
it's a good way of forgetting an enemy is to not contact them after a while.
I mean, anything's possible. All right, let's shut down the poll here, and the answer is
come on, monkeys.
The answer is enslavers. We were fighting enslavers.
Lame.
Yeah.
Dumb.
People did like Quirks though, as a second runner-up there.
Could have been monkeys.
With the enslavers. There we go. Why don't you do me a favor and talk about the next option while I roll up the poll on that?
Okay, so the next option. Oh, why so serious? Yeah, I'm right there with you, Rush.
The Jacaro, why so serious? Do you want to know how I got these scars? Farseer. Oh, that's great.
Okay. So. Part two, table 2, actually. Size and population. How well did our Eldars breed? And yes, I did have to say it like that.
Oh my God. Are we going to get demonetized?
Probably. So, it is a great craft world. One of the largest wandering realms, home to tens of millions of Eldari. It maintains many aspect shrines, vast biodomes, full seer councils, and a fleet of fleets capable of sustaining campaigns across multiple war fronts simultaneously. This craft world sends emissary. Is big. Is the first one. Then we got mid-size. It's like a sedan.
It's got a hatchback.
Everyone in Iceland drives a hatchback, and it blows my mind. Okay. Mid-size wanderers, home to several million souls. It balances military against the need for preserving its civilian population. The Farseers are always careful weighing the cost of each campaign. Respected but never taken for granted. So this is the I need to be careful. I don't want to sacrifice too many lives to this. Then we got the small but ancient, which could describe a couple of my friends. I keep telling my friend who's like a little bit shorter than me that he should grow a beard and use a Dane axe. I keep calling him a dwarf. That's for Viking fighting, mind you.
We have LARPs here in Colorado, and at one point I was intending to go to this LARP. I had a dwarf costume some friends of mine had helped me build, and my goal was to bring along some gourmet root beer. Like we have Rocky Mountain root beer is one of the things we do here. Anyway, I was going to make labels that were fantasy labels and just put them over the label on the root beer bottle and sell dwarven ale at the LARP. So I thought that'd be fun.
Small ancient 24-hour at McDonald's, but the ice cream machine doesn't work.
It never works.
So, okay, random tangent. Do you know why the ice cream machine at McDonald's is always broken?
Because they don't invest in the infrastructure to fix it.
No, it's actually serviced by a separate company that McDonald's doesn't own. And they have to go through each and every single one of them to do it. And it's so dumb because it takes so long.
That's what I was saying, Alexis.
Yeah. But it's not McDonald's fault.
Like, it is. They are the ones who chose to use this particular approach. It is absolutely their fault.
Yeah, you would think a franchise that big. Well, it is a franchise, so it's actually not as big as people think it is. But yeah. Anyway, small but ancient.
I mean,
home to only a few 100,000 Eldari. This Craftworld is intimate and close knit. Every death is felt across the community. Just a little guy. Just a little dude.
Got little guy energy.
They probably run from the fight and sick the orcs on people. And then our last one is a ghost Craftworld. This is possibly my favorite. Once great, this Craftworld was devastated by some catastrophe. The Nids. Its population now number in the tens of thousands. Its halls are empty and echoing. Wraith constructs guided by the dead outnumber the living. This is like Aeldari.
Yeah, these are all based on other types of Craftworlds. So,
well, you didn't have the one that's like devoted to like speed.
Well, there's only 4 options. I mean, I can only do so many.
Cue Lavender Town music.
Yep. YouTube limits us to 4 options for a poll. So
yeah, it's just so dumb.
Don't blame me, y'all. Blame YouTube. Not my fault.
All right, so those are your options. I really like the Ghost Craftworld because I love the idea of just nothing but wraith constructs, just the dead walking amongst the living as just a shell reminding them of their own mortality.
There's a novel called Wraith Flight by Guy Haley, and he goes into that pretty well because it is set mostly on Aeldari, and they talk a lot about how it feels to live there after most of their population was killed. It's pretty interesting stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't often talk about Black Library novels that you should go read on this show, but when I do, they're usually written by someone like Guy Haley, who's a really good writer.
I like his work.
Surprisingly good writer. I was impressed. All right, we're going to close that poll, and the answer is going to be dun dun dun. Drum roll, please. Great Craftworld. We are a biggin. We're a biggin.
We got a lot of mac and cheese.
We are a very large Craftworld. I like it. And our next one is going to be our primary color scheme. This ought to go quickly.
All right. So, and again, people, if you want to support the channel and change a few things here and there, like, make it a monkey war, just saying, you could have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and, that's the reason that Eldar hate humans, because they remind them of the Chikaro. You can use the super chat feature, donate to the channel. It goes a long way to helping both of us out. That's me and him. I was half tempted to do this. Those of you that know. Anyway, it goes a long way to helping us out. It shows support for the channel, and it keeps us growing, which is always fun. And we could have a monkey war. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this, but after that first super chats are the absolute best way to keep the channel going, and they do directly impact your hosts. So we are always very grateful for them. Okay, what are our options for?
So we got Bone White and Deep Crimson, a nice bloody skeleton, which could be really, really cool. Very Sam Han color scheme, which is what I absolutely love. Then we got Midnight Black and Cold Silver. These guys are basically Drakari, but they're not going to say that out loud. Then we got Verdant Green and Pale Gold. The Celts among us. That's probably my favorite color scheme right there. Then we got Deep Violet and Starfield White for all of you within the LGBTQ plus community.
Now you have a lot of experience with coloring models and making custom armies. What are your thoughts about these?
So Bone White and Deep Crimson is a classic color scheme from the 80s. Like it is the one color scheme of Eldar and a lot of Space Marines that did not change. And you can actually find this exact color scheme in most armies within 40K. The Speed Freaks have it, but they have changed out the Bone White to a more white. But the Blood Ravens are the same color scheme. Sam Han is the same color scheme. Votan have a very similar color scheme. Guard have a similar color scheme to this. It's a very, very good color combination, and it's really easy to paint because a dark red with a black wash and then a dry brush of a lighter red, easy to paint. Bone White is now super simple. Any white plus a contrast bone and you're done. Very easy paint scheme. I absolutely love it, and it makes your models pop. Then we got the Midnight Black and Cold Silver. I think this one is probably the one that I would be like, yeah, you painted your army for a tournament really quickly. You know, it works.
Low effort.
Like, you get the 10 points, but unless you put a lot of work into it, like if you use color shifting paints, then it's really good. But if you don't, I think this one is probably the worst in my opinion. The Verdant Green and Pale Gold, again, that reminds me of Ireland, and I'm all for anything Irish. It reminds me of like Celtic warriors and shit like that, so I absolutely love it. The Deep Violet and Starfield White is 100% like a color scheme that I see a lot, especially within the LGBTQ plus community. I see it a lot. I've done that exact color scheme multiple times, so I get it. But yeah, Deep Violet is always a good color scheme.
All right,
I think if I had to put these in order, I would put the red up top, then probably the violet, then green, then the Midnight Black.
I mean, black and silver sounds awesome until you have to try and paint it.
Yeah.
I've tried it. I was like, woof, this is harder than it looks. Let's see what the poll says. And chat has decided that Verdant Green and Pale Gold by a landslide. So
and if I recall correctly, that's not, is that Uthway? No.
No.
Oh god.
Uthway is black and white. So
yeah, which one is that?
The green and gold. I don't believe there are any. I mean, the closest would be Alatok, maybe,
green,
but that's
blue. Alatok is green and white.
No, that's Bealton. You're thinking Bealton.
Is that Bealton?
Bealton is green and white.
Yeah, because that's where the Rogue Trader girl is from.
So yeah, I don't know of any that are green and gold, but I think that's it's Bealton adjacent, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about our symbol. What is going to be our Craftworld symbol?
Okay, so I think it should be a macaroni noodle. Just saying.
Why?
Right? Why? Because it's Kraft noodle? Mac and cheese.
Oh my god. So, did an Eldar army kill your parents? Is that why you're so down on the Craftworld Eldar?
Look, I absolutely love fighting Eldar. I have a really funny story about when they were at their peak in 10th edition, and I ran over a fire dragon unit that fired Overwatch at my unit, scored like 4 6s, and nearly killed my Land Raider. But my Land Raider then tank shocked and ran them all over. And I was really happy about that. I had to scrape Eldar bits out of the bottom of my Land Raider. We have
All
a
right,
servitor just for that. His name is Jeffrey.
why don't you explain the options here for this one?
All right, so we got the Craftworld rune / world symbol, an unbroken spiral circle. A perfect spiral that neither ends nor begins, representing the path itself, an endless circle of the Eldari soul through experience, death, and the infinity circuit. Really cool symbology. I would imagine that it's one of those circles that's like almost an 8, where it's like,
well, the infinity symbol is already part of Eldari. Like you can find it on a lot of
oh yeah, you
Wraithguard. Wraithguard have it a lot. Now this is closer to an actual ring. Like, and I feel like when I was putting this together,
the
to
one
me
ring.
this was a very Tolkien-esque reference because they forged rings for the elves. In fact, one of the guy who made all the rings was an elf, Celebrimbor. So, because I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd, not nearly as much as other people. Just don't try and test me. I'm not great at it, but I do like it.
All right. So then we have the weeping eye. Oh, I did crying. A stylish eye shedding a single tear, representing grief and foresight untoward. I actually think of this one as like the Isha symbol, where it's like the crying symbol.
Well, Ulthwé is a crying eye as well. It would have to be different from the Ulthwé, but it's very close.
Okay, that makes sense.
Ulthwé adjacent, if you will.
Yeah, we've never seen, chapters that are like chapters of Space Marine that are just adjacent to things.
Oh
Blood
God!
Angels, Blood Ravens.
Imperial Fists and Iron Hands. Just anybody.
Iron Hands and Iron Warriors.
Just to start.
Yeah. The next one is the Twin Blades Crossed. I personally love that kind of stuff. And if you're really, really, really into Eldar, you could make it katanas.
Or their power swords or whatever, chain swords. They have chain swords and power swords.
Yeah, it's very weird that they hung on to chain swords.
It's an artifact of second edition that's just hung around, and
yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of okay with it. It's just it's something I've always wanted to see an author remark on it, like to have someone fight a striking scorpion or a storm guardian, and it's like Kane. Like if Commissar Kane were to fight one of them, he'd be like, "Well, it's interesting that they have chainswords that are more elegant and higher tech than ours, but they're still chainswords."
Yeah. I thought it would be really funny, just like, because all of the weapons of Eldar are supposed to be these elegant and beautiful designed, fascinating, otherworldly like designs, and then you just got a chainsaw. It's just like, there it is.
I mean, it does this. It feels like it doesn't quite fit, does it? Yeah.
No, it definitely doesn't. It's kind of like the striking scorpions don't have weapons that fit the Eldar, except for the Mandi blasters.
Well, they have shuriken pistols.
Yeah, the shuriken pistol is fine, but like the power fist and the chainsaw,
they are the most brutal of the Eldari aspect warrior shrines.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one is the Cracked Moon. I actually like that one. That one could be really cool.
It's my personal favorite of the bunch.
Taken from an ancient philosophy, the once foretold the Craftworld's near destruction. Oh boy, that sounds fun.
It's a fate that they managed to avoid.
All right, well that's good.
I kind of like that one. So
kind of reminds me of the bad moons.
Oh, that's a crescent moon. That's different.
Yeah,
that's different. But yeah, and don't forget the 13th Company also has a moon as part of their symbol.
That is true.
But if you guys want to put your votes in on that one, I will be closing out in about 20 seconds. The symbol of the Craftworlds, each Craftworld has its own symbol, and these are important to the Eldari because of a lot of their predictions, their prophecies are done by the Farseers casting runes, and each rune has a very deep significance beyond its shape, if you will. So the Craftworld symbol is a rune, but it is also it's far deeper than that. This is more than just a flag. It's more than just a representation of their unity. It's a representation of their destiny or their fate or their past or their future or their greatest hope or their greatest fear. that's why it's important and interesting. And here we go.
I think Tolkien took too many ideas from the Icelandic sagas.
Well, I mean, the Ring of the Nibelung is literally Lord of the Rings. He just adapted it. All right, the answer is the cracked moon. But the spiral and the twin blades were right up there.
Alrighty.
So it is the cracked moon. And would you like to start on the next part for me?
Alrighty, so we're on cultural focus, the dominant path. Well, that sounds like me. I'm very dominant.
Heyo.
Anywho. Hobbits and Gandalf are copy paste, right? Yeah, kind of. There's also a lot of Celtic mythology thrown in there too. I do love that. One of the dragons is literally a god of the underworld in the Celtic mythologies.
I mean, we could talk about Tolkien at length at some point. I think that'd be interesting.
Well,
but it's definitely one of the foundational building blocks of all fantasy in the West. Western fantasy in general is like sprung from Tolkien, like all the like Athena from the Zeus's brow. You know, it is literally like that is the wellspring of Western fantasy. But we are here to talk about the cultural focus.
The dominant path. The path of the seer. This Craftworld reveres its farseers far above anything else. The Seer Council is the highest authority. Yeah, they probably think so. I mean, Eldred probably loves that.
Mm-hmm. Then that is Ulthwé. Ulthwé does follow the path of the seer.
Yep, that's why he loves them so much. Then we have the path of the warrior. Martial excellence defines this Craftworld's culture. Most aspect shrines are housed here. More aspect shrines are housed here than on most other craft worlds. So they just have a ton of actual warriors. Very little citizens, tons and tons of like howling banshees, fire dragons, swooping hawks, if you remember they exist.
Well, this is Biel-Tan's. This is like Biel-Tan, which is very heavily focused on aspect warriors.
Mm-hmm. Then we got the Path of the Outcast. This is my favorite. This Craftworld taken an unusual view. It does not simply tolerate its wanderers, it honors them. Those who walk the Path of the Outcast are respected as scouts, envoys, and living ears. Rangers return with intelligence that shapes the Craftworld's long-term strategies, and even Corsairs who never fully returned maintain a loose bond of loyalty. Absolutely the best one, hands down. Easy choice right there.
Well, it's very similar to Craftworld Alatok, which unfortunately Alatok is like the white scars of the Craftworlds. They get sidelined and forgotten about a lot, which is a shame.
And then we have the Path of the Bone Singer, Slanesh's favorite.
Oh, why are you trying to demonetize us today, Alexis?
I don't know. This Craftworld, weavers and bone singers of this Craftworld are the most celebrated citizens. Their technology and artistry outshine most contemporaries. I actually do love this because this is the artisan path, but bone singers are also super important as healers as well of wraith constructs, and they're also the ones that can actually make artificial limbs for the Eldar that look identical to the real limb. Though the Eldar can tell the difference, humans can't.
They're also really important on ships. If you're doing anything with Eldar fleet actions, you want bone singers aboard to be able to repair hull breaches, to maintain any stress fractures that may occur, you know, on the outside or on the inside with the spars of the ship. They're if you have any kind of space or void presence for your craft world, bone singers super important. However, the aesthetic part is really cool too, because you can imagine avenues of statues of ancient Eldari heroes that are rendered in wraithbone. You can imagine some architectural feats, like, you know, massive gates or arches or vaulted temples. It could be, I mean, like, I almost imagine, like, if you've ever been to Prague is a very architecturally beautiful city, but it wouldn't be the same style, obviously, as Prague, but it would be famous for that kind of thing as well. So warriors, artisans, seers, or something logistics wins war, says Nathaniel Robinson. Yeah, I mean that. What they say is that if you are amateurs study tactics while professionals study logistics for war. That's what they say. So what's the answer? Let's see how. Oh, we got a super chat. Ding ding, Hooligan Mulligan. Thank you. So our hit songs for Bone Singers called Bone Songs, I guess. Boning songs. I don't know.
They're called boners.
Okay, fun fact. Back in the 40s, I think. Back in the 40s, a boner was a joke. If you told a really good joke, it was called a boner. There's actually a really funny comic book cover. No, I'm not kidding. There's a comic book cover of an old Batman comic, and it has the Joker. He's like, "I'll do the biggest boner of them all." It's literally like his word balloon, and it's infamous because of the meaning has changed over time. I always thought that was hilarious. All right, so let's see what our chat has said. Chat says, "Oh, yay, Alexis got it from
God damn it. God damn it."
Chat says, "Path of the Bone Singer is our cultural focus."
Oh, hell yeah.
That's pretty awesome, actually. I dig it.
Too bad we don't get cool pirates.
Joe Number says, maybe a famous squad of constructs hiding as elaborate statues. Ooh.
Oh, well, we got to add that now.
That's rad. Or do you think we could find a Phoenix Lord of Bone Singers? So Phoenix Lords, no, because we did just do an episode on Phoenix Lords, and what we know about them is that they establish aspect shrines, and each of the Phoenix Lords is kind of like a very high placed saint of Cain, the war god. Bone Singers do not follow Cain. They are not aspect warriors, and therefore there would not be a Phoenix Lord. But there could be an Exarch. You absolutely could have someone who follows the path of the Bone Singer to such a degree that they get lost on that path, and it consumes their existence, and that would give you an Exarch, if you will.
You have to slap their hand every time they try to sculpt Slanesh.
Stop it! I will make a note though of the famous squad of Bone Singers, famous squad of constructs, I should say, hiding as elaborate statues. That's actually really rad.
You know what's really funny is something like this came up in Dawn of War 2. In Dawn of War 2, as you're exploring like the frozen wastes, there's a bunch of Eldari ruins and everything, and as you walk through them, there's wraith constructs just everywhere, and then once you walk past all of them, they all come alive and attack you, and it's a really cool little trap.
Oh, is that Dawn of War 2?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember that, but that's really cool. I don't doubt that it happened. I saw that, which you mistyped. Thank you. I appreciate you guys keeping an eye on me. I'm just trying to keep the stuff straight here. So military specialization is our next
I don't keep
topic.
anything straight.
Oh no, that's true.
Anywho.
I will not go anywhere near that.
Oh, here's a question. Would Bone Singers be followers of Vol?
They could be. Vol is a craftsman god of the Eldar, and so if you're an artisan, I presume that what you do would fall under Vol's purview. Of course, in 40k, Vol is dead. He was destroyed by the fall of the Eldar. So, I mean, you know, they certainly could be followers of Vol. I just don't think they'd be getting any responses to their prayers. Let's put it that way. Okay. I think as far as just to recap, the living gods of the Eldari, Cain, Kalamincha Cain, who is their war god, and he is technically alive, although he's been shattered into numerous shards, and all of these shards lie at the hearts of all the Craftworld. So our Craftworld that we're building today will have a shard of Cain at its heart. Then there's Segorok, the laughing god, and he lives in the webway, and that's really about all we know about him. He's the patron deity of the Harlequins.
We do know that he talked to and likes Ethereal Stern.
Then there's Iniad. Iniad is the god of the dead, and Iniad is not fully awake, but is in the process of awakening and becoming a real full-fledged god. It's not quite there yet. And then there's Isha, and Isha, we are told, according to Eldar myth and folklore, that she is alive, just captured and kept prisoner in Nurgle's garden or Nurgle's laboratory. Nurgle's home.
Well, yeah. Could you imagine if she was in Nurgle's garden and the Emperor stepped on that garden and burned it all and killed Isha?
I'm pretty sure. If I recall correctly, she's kept in his home, not in his garden. But so that's to my understanding, those are the only 4 living gods of the Aeldari. Is that correct?
I'm trying to think if there's another living one. None that I can think of.
I believe those are the ones.
I think the rest died. Or, well, didn't die, but got consumed by Slaanesh.
They are effectively dead. And the Aeldari certainly believe they're dead. So from the standpoint of the lore, they appear to be and are seemingly confirmed to be dead. So there's that.
Because what we know about Slaanesh and consuming other gods is that technically, and other species and everything, is from AOS, and in Old World / AOS during that time, you could be consumed by a god and you get like super corrupted and everything, but you can't get pulled out. But we don't know if that's the same in 40k, because in Old World / AOS, the gods are actual tangible things, where in 40k they're more like conceptual things.
Well, I mean, again, except for Iniad and Cain, who are very physically present.
Oh, sorry, I meant chaos gods specifically.
Okay, chaos gods. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, technically the Catan were also non-physical for a while, and then they got metal bodies.
True, but the Catan are a very different type of god. Like, it's weird to say, like, the star gods are not gods in the regular sense because they have no presence in the warp, which is weird. But it is, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about the military specialization, if you would.
So we have the Sword Wind. This Craftworld fields an unusually high number of aspect shrines. Its armies are composed almost entirely of aspect warriors rather than civilian guardians. Every unit, a precisely trained specialist. Enemies who face them feel the weight of Cain's undivided fury. Let's go with that. So that's the first one. That reminds me just straight up of Samhan.
It's Beeltan. No, that's Beeltan.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I can see it.
There's another one that's like Samhan, and you will find it.
Oh, the Swift Riders. Yeah, that'll do it.
Why don't you talk about the Swift Riders?
The Swift Riders, jet bikes, vipers, and swooping skimmers define this Craftworld's way of war, speeding through everything, striking fast, striking hard, and vanishing before their enemies can respond. Literal Viking tactics, which is great. Swift Riders is the way I would do Eldar as a faction. I would keep it all on jet bikes. All of it would be super fast. I would have none of that pathetic infantry. If it's not flying, it's dumb.
You know, I gotta admit, I like the idea of a Viking-themed Eldari Craftworld that does focus on swift maneuvers with Vipers and jet bikes. That would be kind of wild.
I think it would have to be a Corsair fleet.
Well, it could be. It would be even better as a Corsair fleet. I agree.
Yeah.
But I also want to point out the Swift Host can include the grav tanks. It can include the Falcons and the Wave Serpents, and like all the grav tanks. Unlike the Imperial tanks, grav tanks are fast as hell. They can deploy directly from orbit. They don't even care about what the terrain is because they hover over it. The grav tanks, the Eldari grav tanks are awesome and quick. So something to keep in mind.
The one thing, though, is if you apply any bit of realism to the grav tank, you could throw a rock at it and destroy the whole thing.
It's not a Wave Serpent, at least not from the front.
Yeah, you could throw it right into its engine. It has 2 giant openings in the front.
Listen, I think they look amazing. I love the Eldari grav tanks. They look so cool.
100% fully agree with you, but it's really funny that just a normal person with a Molotov can take one out.
I want I want like the imperial, like the what do they call that? The formations of tanks in Horus Heresy. The
Tank
armored fist
formations.
tank formation. Anyway,
Oh
I
yeah, the
want one of
armored
those.
tank.
I want one of those, but for the Eldari. I want to be able to field nothing but graph tanks. I'd be so happy. Hey, we've got a super chat. Joe Numbers coming in with a steel chair. Oh my
Joe
god.
Numbers.
Ancient Bone Singer, both famed and infamous for their obsession, making more and more detailed constructs, attempting true resurrection. Their obsession goes so far, they've worked with Incubi, and they're trying to bring back Iniod. Wow, that is awesome.
That has to go word for word in there.
Crap, that is so cool. Yeah, I'm actually absolutely adding that. This is going to be a notable figure. Let's just put that in there like that. An Ancient Bone Singer. What a cool idea, Joe Numbers. I am 100% on board for that. Both famed and infamous for their obsession.
That is really good.
That's cool as hell, bro.
I do like the comments, like pointing out if you apply any sort of realism. I get it, but one of the whole things on my channel, one of the video series on my channel is about applying realism to 40K. And surprisingly, a lot of it does work. And a lot of it is actually really, really good. Some of it is just ass, but a lot of it is like insanely good. Like the Rhino and the Chimera are both amazing vehicles. But like the Aeldari stuff is just, oh boy, is it silly. Orc vehicles surprisingly work really well.
Very grateful to you, Joe Numbers. Do really appreciate that super chat. That was awesome.
If you could give us a name for said Ancient Bone Singer, that'd be really cool.
All right, and I will meanwhile close the poll and see where we're at. The answer is our military specialization is the Ghost Host.
Space Host, Ghost to Ghost.
Can you read the Ghost Host option, please?
The dead serve this craft world. Spirit Seers are the most revered figures, and Wraith Guard, Wraith Lords, and mighty Wraith Knight forms the backbone of their forces. That would also include their Eldar Titans, the Phantom Titans.
All Titans, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phantoms more than others. You're right.
The living are precious, and the dead are called back to protect them. Guided by the Spirit Seers. Hang on a second. Enemies describe the eerie silence of facing them as an army. They do not breathe. Facing an army that does not breathe. That's actually kind of terrifying.
So honestly, this comes from Warhammer Fantasy in the Phoenix Guard of Warhammer Fantasy, which are famously described as fighting in an eerily silent manner, and to the point that they actually used to cause fear as a psychological effect, if you remember how those used to work in Warhammer Fantasy. And the Phoenix Guard would cause fear because they're so quiet. And a part of me was like, that's rad. And another part of me was like, that's stupid. And that's kind of where 40K lives, is right on that spectrum of in between it's awesome and it's also dumb. Which Alexis will often bring up is like, hey, that's kind of dumb, but cool.
Yeah. Well, like, fighting silently is okay. So
hard.
do you know the psychology of yelling while doing something?
Yeah. But why don't you explain it?
So for those of you that have never run track or have ever been fighters or anything like that, yelling actually boosts your adrenaline and makes you do stuff even harder than you would if you were quiet, calm, and like you'll see long jumpers as they run and jump, they'll actually scream as they're jumping because it makes their muscles expand quicker. It boosts them with adrenaline and makes them, outperform their normal selves. And in an actual fight, yelling has a really, really important role, which is to scare an opponent. And as weird as it is, yelling at somebody works. You could also talk to them and scare them by simply talking, because a lot of the fights are usually grunts and growls, and you're hitting weapons against shields and shields against weapons, blah blah blah. But the second you yell at somebody and startle them right before a fight begins, you could rip their shield open and kill them.
It breaks their focus. It
Yep.
breaks their foot. This is why it's part of a lot of martial arts training is to yell as you attack, because it can put your opponent off balance, and it, at the very least has a good chance to rattle his nerves a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I love doing it. It's really fun to do to newbies. You just look at them and just scream really loudly, and then just and they're just like, "What?" And one
Yeah.
of our practices is to actually yell at people to make sure that they are prepared for that.
Our next section is the most celebrated aspect shrine on the Craftworld, and we have 4 options that I've put up into the chat: Dark Reapers, Howling Banshees, Striking Scorpions, and Dire Avengers. Now, I will say those are not the only options. I'm only allowed 4, so I put in the 4 that I thought were pretty apt. But if someone wants to make Alexis cry, you could always do super chat for the Shadow Specters.
Oh God, don't.
Which are her least favorite aspect warriors
They
of all.
appeared in one book, never got mentioned in any lore ever, and are just gone.
Also, if you're just a big fan of the Warp Spiders or the Fire Dragons or the Swooping Hawks, which also make Alexis flinch, be sure to throw that as anything you guys want to do for a super chat. We will put it in. But the options that are there are the most likely according to the lore. Dire Avengers are the most the absolute most numerous aspect shrine, period, and the other 3 are considered the most common outside of that.
I do like this comment.
Brendan Fraser screaming at the mummy is legit tactics, is our question. Yes. God, that movie's so good. The 90s mummy movie, so good.
It is an amazing movie. But actually, yes, because Imhotep understood that he was being yelled at. He had to take a second to be like, "Bitch, are you yelling at me?" Which gave them enough time to bring up his weapon and shoot him.
So Nathaniel Robinson says the contrast between the Banshee howl and the silence of the Wraith constructs would be terrifying. Good call. Good call.
Could you imagine if the Banshee howl was physically silent, but it just shook the insides of your body?
Ultrasonic or infrasonic would count for that. Infrasonics are also that's a good way to scare somebody, and they may not know how or why they're so worried or so anxious. Infrasonics will do that to you. But I will say also that if you want to accompany a ghost host, the best aspect shrine are the Shadow Specters.
Oh my God! Don't you do it!
Oh, I'm poking the bear. I'm poking the bear. All right.
If somebody donates 20 and says Shadow Specters, fine. That's totally fine. But if they don't, they're gone. They're not in the lore anymore. They are gone. They just throw them out.
Well, Joe Number says that Nathaniel did make a really good point that the Banshee yell contrasting with the utter silence is too good. I agree. That is, and Howling Banshees are a great aspect shrine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're super cool and super fun. So I agree. All right, let's end the poll and see what y'all decided. It is Howling Banshees. All right. I am a fan of this. We will probably, Alexis, do you want to try and get somebody to name the Exarch of the Howling Banshee Shrine? Because that would be pretty cool to add, I think.
Oh, yeah.
A little extra detail.
If you guys want to name any of the characters, cool names will, of course, be first taken. But if you want to donate a little bit, name the character, have your own personal character within our chapter, within our shrine in this case, or within our craft world, by just donating 5, you could throw a name and name an entire character and come up with a backstory, and we will make it a part of the Lorebeards canon, which will then be in the same universe as Face Flaya,
That's right,
the Cackling Death, and
the Gorgon's Talons.
The Gorgon's Talons.
Yes, and the Crown. The Crown
Keeper.
Crown Keeper. That's right, Crown Keeper, who is our rogue trader. What we got to do Inquisition next, or at some point we need to do Inquisition.
Yeah, we need to do Inquisition.
Okay, we got Zarquation says, "Oh, I cannot pronounce that. I'm so sorry. Cleana, Queen of the Banshees, associated with Munster. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. But I think it's Cleana. I think is how you pronounce it. I think.
Well, I'm too dumb for this because when you said Munster, I thought of cheese.
That's Munster. But Cleodna is a pretty good name, so I think we'll go with that. Cleod. I don't know how to make the symbol, unfortunately.
Cheese.
Cheese associated with monster. All right, cool. So we got that in there.
Also, I'm in Iceland, right? And you know what sucks about Iceland? I can't get good pepper jack cheese.
Really?
I also can't get good roast beef. That isn't like a fortune.
That's weird. I would think that like cheese and beef would be something you'd find on Iceland.
If I need lamb, I can get that at any time.
Huh.
But getting affordable beef, not something Iceland does.
Weird.
That's a French cheese, Alexis. It is.
Would you do me a favor and read the options for the Infinity Circuit?
Okay, so we have the Infinity Gems, the Infinity. I'm joking.
The Infinity Stones.
Yep.
We are inevitable.
God, they were. I hate how little they use those in the Avengers movies. As a comic book lover, like some of my favorite comic book runs are the ones of alternating alternate realities, and it's like that's really cool. And then they did nothing of that with anyway.
Wait, so you like alternate timelines?
No, not the alternate timelines or alternate dimensions. I liked when Thanos creates alternate realities that the people themselves are actively living in the real reality. And that's how he beats them. Well, I think that's really cool.
You should check out Darkseid over on DC, because Darkseid does that, but even more elevated. Where he'll make you live out your entire life in a matter of seconds in this alternate universe that he created just for you. He can make you experience a lifetime of hell in the snap of a fingers. It's pretty wild.
Darkseid is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that story came out after the Tsukiyomi, which does the same thing.
What's this? Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
Good old Naruto.
Oh, that's why. Okay. So there's some foundational anime that I've never watched. And I've never seen Naruto. I've never seen Boruto. I've never seen Dragon Ball. I'm familiar with them. Like I can name some characters, and I know like the overall generals of it, but I've never watched those shows.
I have never watched Naruto in a day in my life, says the giant tattoo on my tummy. But I will say one thing about Naruto for all of you anime fans. Naruto, the original, is way better than Shippuden.
Believe it.
Do you know what that comes from? That comes from Databanyo, which is gibberish, which means that the closest English translation that could work for that is people saying like, type shit.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
All right. Well, please read the options for the
Anyway. The Infinity Circuit. Deep and ancient. I actually do like this one. The Infinity Circuit is vast and old, crowned with the spirit stones of thousands of generations. The ancestors speak constantly. Yeah, don't shut up.
Well, they speak constantly in the circuit. Then you put them into a Wraith construct, and they're like, nope, we're not saying a word.
Then we have Wounded and Scarred. The past catastrophe, a psychic attack, a demon incursion, and Necron pylon has damaged the Infinity Circuit. All at once, mind you. Spirits are lost in fractured sections. The Craftworld psychic infrastructure is incomplete. The Bone Singers work tirelessly to do repairs. This one fits with our theme. I'm just going to say that. This one fits with our theme. Okay, then we have Hushed in Time. This Craftworld's Infinity Circuit holds fewer souls than most. Perhaps it's departed an old empire with only a small population, or perhaps many of the spirit stones have been lost to the void for over the centuries. I feel bad for this one. This is the one where maybe Space Marines came through and raided it, or Aeldari Corsairs raided it to appease another Craftworld, which does happen.
Could be Chikari, could be Chaos, could be another alien
monkeys.
Species. Could be Tau. Who knows?
Yeah, not knowing what they're doing. Then we got a Strange Resonance. Yeah. The infinity circuit vibrates at a frequency that does not match any other craft world. Some Farseers believe it to be a powerful ancient soul, a Phoenix Lord fragment, perhaps, or a shroud. A shroud. It's shroud. From Curse of
Shard.
Shroud. A
Shard.
shard of a pre-fall god lingers somewhere deep within the circuit. I like that. But now I'm thinking of Shroud from, D&D.
That's Strahd.
Oh yeah, it is.
We got a super chat. Joe Numbers says Majun, the Cold Gale, 40K Frankenstein. I
Oh,
mean, that sounds pretty
that
cool.
that's the name of the ancient. I like that.
The ancient, which ancient?
The ancient dude that he made. The
Oh,
ancient bone singer.
oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me just go update that really quick because that was a great character. So we have our notable figure, Majun.
This is actually a good question. How do Eldar names even work? Because I am not familiar with their naming scheme.
Well, so the craft worlds are typically named after Celtic events or holidays. Like Bealtaine is Beltane, right? Which
Yeah.
is just a holiday from the Celtic traditions. And I think Ulthway's similar. Yeah, I believe that the names of the craft worlds are all based on Celtic events or holidays or things like that. When it comes to the naming of individuals, your guess is as good as mine because you have Eldrad, you have Ivrain, you have Iriel, a lot of Ys, by the way, a lot of Y names.
Maka. Don't
Macha,
forget, Maka is
Matcha,
the.
yeah, Matcha.
I fucking
So,
love Maka. She's amazing.
so yeah, the I had a lot of fun with the Farseers from Dawn of War. We put them in. We did reference them a lot in Dark Heresy, and it was always a good time. And Rush 2129, Chamberlain Leitram. I think it's how you pronounce it. Letrium? Leitram? Boy, he's a bone singer, Iandan, founder of the cult of the four-eared falcon. He's plotting to take the job of the Warden of Continued. Okay. Infinity Circuit. He's the first Eldar passing hybrid Stealer on the craft world.
Oh.
He's a hybrid G Stealer. Okay, that's cool. All right, notable figures. Let's make that.
And one thing we do know is that, Eldar can be infected by gene stealers.
Do we know that? How do we
Yes,
know that?
it comes from that same book that the Eldar that the Patriarch is from. The Patriarch Avatar.
Oh God! Oh, that book! Oh, that's right. You're right. Oh, I hate that you're right, but you're right. Oh Lord.
Yep. Although the
Bonesinger,
Eldar do eventually find them. It just takes them a very long time to find them.
four-eared falcon. He is plotting to take the job of the Warden of the Infinity Circuit. And he is the first passing Gene Stealer hybrid.
Oh.
Which terrifying. I believe that's correct. Let me just double check here. Yeah. First Eldar passing hybrid Gene Stealer on the craft world. So we'll just say Aeldari passing Gene Stealer hybrid on the craft world. Okay, that's really cool. Well done. I dig it. Nice. The notable figures is just going to grow, isn't it? That's just going to get there.
I mean, yeah, you have to. Like, it's a simple $5 donation to make a notable character within the chapter itself. Or, sorry, the craft world itself. I keep saying chapter because I keep thinking of Space Marines.
Well, we are going to have to cover some Space Marines. I know there's resistance. I know our lore seekers are like, no, we prefer non-Space Marines. But they're such a major part of the lore for 40K that we're going to have to talk about them. And it's okay. It's okay. I promise you. Even people who don't like Space Marines, there are cool things about Space Marines that we're going to discuss. They can be cool. They can be interesting. They're not just boring things. So just keep that in mind. So our poll is ended, and our Infinity Circuit is deep and ancient.
A teehee. Insert hilarious joke here.
All right. Then we've got our governance structure is the next one.
Our infinity circuit is so deep and ancient that the Votan are trying to get to it. We do have a super chat here from Ricky Chapman.
Rick Chapman, hey, he says Eldar names are title and then common name. I mean, really? I think Eldrad Ulthran, I think his name is Eldrad. I don't think his title is Eldrad.
Doesn't he have an actual name? Like he has Eldrad as his like name, but I feel like he's called something else as well as Eldrad.
I mean, Farseer Matcha, that her title is Farseer, and that, sure, that does make sense. And Prince Iriel, they use his title first. That's true.
Yeah.
Ivrain, though, I don't think Ivrain. Yeah, I'm not sure about Ivrain. I don't think she uses her title before her name. So
Eldrad Uthwan.
Ayena Arienel, the bone singer of Ayandon. I'm not sure. I think you might be partially right, but I don't think you're completely right, Ricky Chapman.
Farseer Taldir. I like Taldir.
Oh, Taldir's my favorite of the. She's absolutely my tippy top favorite Farseer.
Which one is the one that dies? Is it Maka or Taldir?
I don't remember. Honestly, it's a good question.
Well, it's because none of us played Dawn of War. Well, I played through Dawn of War 3, unfortunately.
Did you?
Yeah, I played through the whole thing. The story is actually really good.
Is it?
Yeah, the story by itself is good.
Huh.
Especially the team up at the end. Okay. Where all three like super characters are just standing there like, we're League of Legends characters now.
Right, but so the story is good, but what about the gameplay?
Oh god, it's terrible. It's horrible.
That's why I didn't play it.
It does have one of the coolest like not cutscenes, but definitely cutscenes where a Imperial Knight kicks out and jumps from orbit and crashes behind not Gabriel Seth. What's his name?
Angelos.
The chapter. Yeah.
Gabriel Angelos.
Gabriel Angelos crashes behind him and just raises its guns up and just starts firing.
Speaking of which, one of the chapters of Space Marines we need to talk about are the Blood Ravens, because they're going to be featured in Dawn of War 4.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the Dark Angels wouldn't hurt. Just saying.
Yeah, we got to name Dark Angels. They're Dark Angels.
Taldir dies, it says here. So Nathaniel Robinson.
Taldir dies. Maka needs to get her to pilot a Phantom Titan.
That would be cool. Are they twins though?
Apparently.
Huh. Okay. Well, why don't you read the governance structure options, please?
Okay. Wait. Where am I? There we go. Okay. The Seer Council rules. They just have a long list of rules that you have to follow. Like if you have an ice cream cone in your pocket and you're crossing the street, that's illegal. That is an actual law in America somewhere. A council of Farseers and senior warlocks govern all major decisions. Prophecy is law. Military command follows Seer's directives. Oh boy, doesn't that sound like a lot of fun? Hey, I predicted in the future you might be an asshole. Go to jail.
Future crime. It's Minority Report.
Yep. Which they don't realize is the reason that they're doing the crime in the first place.
Mm.
The Altarch's command, a great Altarch or a council of Altarchs lead the Craftworld with military propagandism. Again, military lead. Good old Eldar. You can always trust them for that.
Bieltan is very military oriented. So
yeah. God, I have these little hairs that are sticking out from my headset and they won't stay back. And they're constantly just poking me in the cheek.
Don't you hate it when that happens? I mean, it occurs to me all the time.
Yeah, you just get it from your beard. It just comes out.
Yes, Alexis, please tell me how burdensome your full head of hair is. I want to hear more about it.
It sucks sometimes. Like if I'm sleeping and I turn and I pull my hair out, that hurts. Clan structure. Like Sam Han, this Craftworld is divided into powerful clans. Literally the White Scars. Each with their own traditions and champions. A high council of clan leaders make decisions. I actually do like this one. This actually reminds me more of like the Iron Hands, I think it is, that have the clans.
They have the clan structure. Yeah.
I like that one. And then we have the Exarch's Domain. Ooh, that's going to be a fun one. In an unusual and unsettling arrangement, the most powerful exarchs of the Craftworld, the Aspect Shrine, form the highest, bleh, are the highest form within their war council. The exarchs whose souls are fused to their armors, whose personalities are consumed by their aspect, view the Craftworld survivors as purely material terms. That's terrifying. Just to
Yeah,
keep
it's
themselves alive.
Exarchs are actually quite scary because they are completely consumed by war. They're all about war. An autarch, so autarchs are military leaders, they're generals, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But they are not locked in like an exarch is, and they're not consumed by it like an exarch is. An autarch can still step off the path of the warrior. He's just done it a lot, okay? He's like a veteran aspect warrior as opposed to an exarch. But exarchs are this is one of the, we've talked about this before when we talked about the aspect warriors. We have a whole episode about aspect warriors, and in that episode we talked about how exarchs on the craft world are seen as other, like they are almost alien to a typical Eldar culture. They just don't fit in because all they do is think about war and training and preparing. And remember, an exarch is a gestalt spirit because their souls are connected through, they're a collective of everyone who's worn that armor before. So it would be very unsettling to be led by a group of exarchs. Hey,
now, I have to add to this one really quickly.
Go ahead.
Exarchs are war maxing.
Clavicular. Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Anywho,
Spitfire 703 coming in with this steel chair super chat. Thank you so much, Spitfire. He says, I used to hold the opinion that Space Marines were boring, but Lorebeards 40K has given me a greater appreciation for them.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, man. That makes me feel good. I appreciate you. I see you and I appreciate you. That makes me feel good too.
I think why Space Marines is so near and dear to us is that we both made one of our first things was to make our custom chapters. Yeah. And it really, like, Space Marines for me are just a lot of fun. Eldar are that mysterious army that you fight, and I love that. And we're getting more and more books from the Eldar perspective that are really good, except Windrider, that I absolutely love, except Windrider. But most of them have been incredible, and they tell you the story of 40K from a completely different perspective without the propagandism of the Imperials. And it's so interesting.
Fun fact, there's only ever been 3 Space Marine chapters that are considered official that were not created by Games Workshop proper. One of those is the Red Scorpions, which was created by Forge World. That's their in-house studio. Mm-hmm. So it was the closest. That was the closest connection, and it's fairly obvious that they would get made official, but they are official. The second one are the Blood Ravens, which were created by Relic Studios for the Dawn of War games, and they are an official chapter. And the third one is the Storm Wardens, which were made for the Deathwatch role-playing game, my creation, and they are official. You can actually go to Warhammer World and see the collection of Space Marines that they have of all the official chapters. And last time I went, which has been a few years, but the last time I went, if you find the Rainbow Warriors, the Storm Wardens are right next to them.
I think Warriors, there's one more chapter, the Tome Keepers.
Oh, right.
Chapter. Yeah.
That's from what was White Dwarf? Didn't they do that?
They did it, and then they were included in the Guide to Space Marine chapter book.
So that's 4. Okay, you're right. But I mean, I feel like that's also an official Games Workshop as opposed to a third party. But it falls into the same category.
So I think fine. I definitely think it's like a little bit under that, but yeah.
All right, to get back to Craft Worlds,
hi, Kofu.
Let's see what we got. The answer is naturally. Chat picked the most disturbing answer. They picked the Exarch's Dominion.
Hell yeah!
Woo! We have to run. Our Craft World is to run everything through a group of absolutely terrifying warriors.
And technically, the Astartes chapter was another chapter that was made canon.
I don't know what that chapter is, though.
Gods, I forget their name, but they're now officially Games Workshop.
Are they? Okay, well, that's rad.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually 5 then total. That's pretty rad. Governance structure, the Exarch's Dominion.
Kovu, I need to work. I know you're being super cute and cuddly and everything. The Retributors, thank you.
The Retributors, yes.
I
Okay.
need my hand. Kovu is sitting on my hand, so I apologize. I only have one hand now.
We got a new notable figure. Super Orlok coming in with a steel chair says Pathfinder Vrilliot. I'm doing my best.
You're doing yourself a
And
big
Pathfinder Vrilliot came back to this craft world only to discover it is partially a den of literal locusts. Unfortunately for her, no one else suspects the upstanding cult of the four-winged falcon.
Oh.
This is why the Exarchs are in charge, right? Is they don't see the cult. That's the problem.
Yeah,
They're
that's
focused
terrifying.
on other things. This is great. I love it.
Ross, I want to know if you can hear this.
I can't.
You can't hear Kovu purring? He's purring so loud.
Has he got a thunder purr?
Yeah. He's just being the cutest boy ever. Hey, yo.
So we have developed a gene stealer cult on board this craft world. I love it. It's the cult of the four-winged falcon.
Then we got another super chat. Hi, Coco. Did you just give me the party? Give me kisses? What the heck is this?
All right. Joe Numbers says Letrium and Majun are enemies and rivals, bringing a bit of drama to the craft world.
Well, now that has to be the thing.
Well, that makes perfect sense, actually. I agree, and thank you, Joe Numbers. We will add that in. I have added it to the end of Letrium's entry. That is actually really cool. So we have a very distracted craft world. We've got a guy who's so focused on building constructs that he doesn't notice the cult. We have the Exarchs who are so focused on war that they don't notice the cult. And we have the Pathfinder coming back who's like, guys, there's totally a cult here. What's going on? Nobody pays any attention.
That's the Infinite really Divine 2, Eldar Boogaloo. Hell yeah.
The Infinite Divine 2. Oh, I love it. That book is so much fun.
It is such a good book.
Our next one is the Great Wound. Would you like to describe the options for the Great Wound, please?
Yep. Once I can get over there.
I can't. A cat's sitting on me. I can't move.
Yeah, I have lost one arm because Kovu is sitting on it. Okay, the Great Wound. The Devouring. A tendril of the Hive Fleet descended on the craft world. Though it was eventually driven back, the losses were catastrophic. Biomass stripped bare. Aspect shrines emptied. Spirit stones shattered beyond recovery. This makes sense why there's a gene stealer cult here. A demonic incursion. A breach into the webway once allowed a tide of demons to flood the craft world's halls, which isn't a very good thing if you're Eldar. That is not cash money of demons. Just putting it out there. The betrayal of kin. Oh, this could also lead into our gene stealer cult little uprising that's happening. Long ago, a fraction within the craft world turned to a darker path. This could also be why we're led by an Exarch. Seduced by chaos, or perhaps the subtle promises of the Dark Eldar slavers. I could see that the Farseers fell to Slaanesh and the Exarchs killed them.
Oh my god, that would be rad.
That's why the Exarchs are in charge.
Oh wow, that'd be really wild, actually.
The last option, the silence of the Phoenix Lords, a shrine of one of the Kane's Phoenix Lords once stood on the craft world, and his warriors trained to a standard that drew recruits from across the galaxy. Then the Phoenix Lord fell in battle, and the sacred armor was lost to the enemy. This could again lead into the whole why the Exarch are in charge. An Eldar civil war, maybe, perhaps. That's important.
Possibly. So the Great Wound, this is a catastrophic event that has shaped the craft world. This is basically some kind of setback that we had to recover from. And the Devouring is obviously very thematic with what we were building here. Demon incursion, though, is very possible. The demons are in the webway, just in case you didn't know. The Farseers have to close off more and more of the webway like every year to keep demons from flooding in.
Well, don't worry. Orcs are creating more now.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Betrayal that doesn't sound horrifying.
The betrayal of kin could be Could be Dark Eldar. It could be Chaos. It could be Slaanesh. I mean, I kind of love the idea of this, of the Farseers all being like, you know what, Slaanesh is great. Let's do that.
I mean, it is something that happens to them quite often. The getting tricked by Slaanesh.
And we did an episode on the Phoenix Lords. If you want to know who the Phoenix Lords are, we did an episode on them very recently. And one of them dying and their sacred armor being lost, that's a big deal. That's a major issue for the Eldar. For the Aeldari.
My camera stopped focusing. Come on, camera. Focus.
This is unfortunately common. I think you need a new webcam.
What it is I have too much stuff happening in the background.
All right, so we've got all that out there. Let's see what you guys have decided on.
Also, I love this comment.
In Icelandic law, if a cat sits upon you, you must not disturb its rest, lest it kills the Yule cat.
Unless it tells the Yule cat, yeah.
And the Yule cat. Yeah.
The Yule cat will come and eat your children.
Yule cats are scary.
But yes, there is a whole Kovu sleeping on my lap right now.
Chat says betrayal of kin, 72%. I think we have to go with the Farseers seduced by Slaanesh, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think
unless
that's
they were tricked by
idea.
Monkeys, chat. They could be tricked by monkeys.
That's up to you. That's up to chat. But I think unless chat wants to weigh in, I think it is what we said. The betrayal of kin.
Okay, come on.
Farseers were corrupted.
There we go.
By Slaanesh and killed by the Exarchs. Okay. The next section is going to be about the Craftworld stance on Ennead.
They really shouldn't stand on Ennead.
Would you briefly explain who Ennead is and why the stance on Ennead is important?
So Ennead Ynid is the newest god of the Eldar that was definitely just added to the lore without GW thinking too much about it. I'm joking. That is a joke. Ynid is a god of the dead of the Eldar, and it is believed that if all of the Eldar die, Ennead will be reborn and thus bring the Eldar species back to life. They used to have a way of constantly recycling their souls and bodies. With Ennead, they might actually have that chance. The Eldar are on the fence about it because while Ynid could protect their souls, it still requires a lot of death. Like a lot of death. So we have 4 different choices for it. We have Curious Devotion, the Craftworld's Farseers, the Craftworld's Exarchs in this case, have seen enough of the... Okay, hang on. I got to change this just a bit. The Exarchs have had Farseers rendezvous with them to explain what happened as though they were like Mormons. And it's given them genuine hope. Some citizens quietly follow the Ynnari, and Yvrane's representatives are received with cool respect.
Yeah, it's basically a very careful line between hope and heresy.
Yep. Then we got open hostility. I don't think I need to explain that one too much.
The Exarchs view Ennead as, or Ynid. I prefer Ennead, but it could be the other way. Anyway, the council views Ynid as dangerously destabilizing, and they're like, no.
No, there's no Gene Stealer cult on us. Go away. Then we got fervent embrace. They love them. They just want to give them hugs and cuddles and kisses. This Craftworld has become one of Ynnari's core allies. Its spirit seers hear the infinite circuit grow louder when the whispering god draws near. I love this. I love the idea of a darker, more goth elf. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, we get goth Freerin with this one. Just saying.
Ooh, Freerin. Good.
And then the last one is a house divided. I don't think I need to really explain this one. Some of them agree, some of them don't. Exarchs are at each other's throats about it. So you never know who's going to emerge from this civil war. But there is devotion both for and against.
We've got a new super chat. Ricky Chapman, $10. Boom! Coming in with Don and Ra, which translates roughly to soul death. A Wraith Seer. Ooh, Wraith Seers are rad. Wraith Seer who is secretly culling the Gene Stealer cult, but much too slowly. But it is determined to remove the tumor from their home. Wraithseers are really cool. So Wraithseer, for people who don't know, a Wraithseer is a Farseer who has died, and their spirit stone has been put into a Wraith construct, typically a Wraith Lord. And it is, so imagine a Wraith Lord with a bunch of psychic powers and a force weapon. They are very dangerous and very rare. I love Wraithseers. They're super rad. So we absolutely have to add that. Ricky Chapman, great idea. You guys are coming up with some really good ideas today. Big fan.
Do like that our community is having the civil war right now of trying to kill the Gene Stealer cult or grow the Gene Stealer cult. I do find that funny. And again, anybody, if you want to support the channel and help us out and help me buy some more tattoos because I need to cover my body in as much art as possible because my body is a temple and thus it needs to be worshipped at. I'm joking. Anyway, if you want to support the channel and you want to make your own characters, a simple $10 super chat gets you a character and adds your lore to the channel's Craftworld. And if you want to, maybe kill or spread that Gene Stealer cult that's in here, or add monkeys.
You love Jakaro. We've got to do an episode on Jakaro. We really do.
We can't. There's like 10 seconds of lore about them.
I bet we could come up with some pretty. We could combine it with a Let's Build, or we could combine it with some what ifs. I think that would be really fun to do.
I think we'd have to throw them into like lesser races of 40k or lesser species of 40k.
Yeah, that does make sense. Although I do want to cover a lot of the minor Xeno species as well.
I think we throw them in there.
All right, let's see what we got. And the chat says that our stance on Iliad is fervent embrace. We are down with Iliad.
Hell yeah.
We are so down. We're like, hell yeah. If Rain, you're welcome here anytime.
What if the Jakaro had more lore?
Yeah, Nathaniel Robinson, good point. What if indeed? I agree.
Honestly, I think you might have written the most Jakaro lore.
No, I don't think so.
Most of it comes from the Dark Heresy books.
I mean, we did talk about them because I don't remember doing a lot of work on it, but I guess it's possible. It's a long time ago for me.
I got my hand free.
All right, so webway access is our next bit. Could you read those off, please?
Can we add the orcs mega shock jump? Oh, I'm sorry, Kovu. Did you do a big yawn? Okay.
Such a pretty kitty.
I love him so much. He's such a good cat. A major nexus. This Craftworld controls or closely guards a major webway junction, giving it rapid access to countless star systems. This is super useful. Kovu farted on me, and it smells terrible.
Oh, no.
Thanks, buddy. Okay. Yep, he's back down. Okay. Consistent passage. This Craftworld's webway gates are open into corridors that are constantly fought over. Dark Eldar, Necron invaders, and predatory chaos entities all claim their roots, and sometimes orcs now. Kovu, stop putting your claws on my arm. A lost path. This Craftworld primarily routes through the webway was severed long ago by some forgotten catastrophe. Now it must rely on older, half-forgotten tunnels that are longer, more treacherous, and less reliable. This kind of reminds me of the dwarves making that like endless tunnel, the secret tunnel in Old World.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, I need you to chant secret tunnel now. Secret tunnel.
Yeah, the underways, right? The Karazhan Core.
Yeah. The Laughing God watches. Harlequin troops are unusually frequent visitors of this Craftworld's webway portals. They appear and vanish without warning. Their motives never clearly explained. I do like that one also. And I'm glad that somebody got the secret tunnel joke.
Underway. What is the secret tunnel joke? I guess I'm missing it.
It's from Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's an episode where they have to go through a secret tunnel, and the entire time there's a guy singing "Secret Tunnel."
Oh wow! Okay, I missed that.
And that's the whole joke, and it's such a random joke in Avatar. But
my cabbages.
Well. That too.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
That's also a really good one.
I like those a lot. God,
I need to rewatch Avatar.
Oh, there's a new Avatar animated thing coming. Like there was a leak about it. It's pretty wild.
Yep. The entire movie was leaked. Oopsie
Was it
daisy.
really? Oh,
The
damn! I didn't
entire
know that.
movie.
Holy shit! I didn't know that. Okay, wow.
I
My soul
purposely
stones.
tried.
That's look like yours is my soul stones. I dig that. All right, so let's see what chat has said about the webway.
Did we get this super chat?
I'm about to. I wanted to
Okay.
get the answer here really quick.
Yep.
The answer is the Laughing God Watches.
Oh, nice.
So the Laughing God Watches is our webway access. We have a lot of Harlequin stopping by.
We have Harlequin stopping by, Gene Stealer cultist, a monkey maybe.
You're not going to drop that until it happens.
I'm not dropping the monkey until it's in there.
Oh my god, that's
I
hilarious.
am putting these monkeys in a barrel.
Oh my god. All right, we got 2 super chats. Let's read these. Joe Numbers, Majoon leads the local Iniad cult. Okay. That is really cool.
Oh yeah, it's a $5 donation. My apologies.
Let me go ahead and add that in here. So Majoon leads the local.
Oh no, this is the addition.
And calls
character creation is 10.
Calling for the 4-winged cult's end. Even going so far as to making contact with a local enemy to distract them.
Yo,
nice.
Why do all of our... Actually, this one's a bit more hopeful.
Ricky Chapman, thank you so much. He's got a great RPG group who he tells us stories about his games. They're amazing. He says, we have a named Jakiro character from the kids' books. Oh, yeah. The kids' books of 40K. That's right. He hijacked a Tau Crisis battlesuit, but his name is Flea, if memory serves. That's hilarious.
I love that so much.
That is great. And we've got the Exiled one. He's adding a new character here. Torque. God, don't ask me. How do I pronounce this? I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Torque
Torque something. Torque. Sirad? Sirav? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'll do my best.
Hey, Victor.
Torque is a lady bone singer.
Oh, he can't hear me. I was gonna have Victor read it because he can read random languages.
Yeah. He sings the dead back to war with the death god's blessing. I love it.
Oh, that is sick. Also, that was an ability that the Ynnari used to have. They used to have an ability to bring an entire unit back to life, which was completely fair and balanced.
Oh, no doubt.
And never led to people just rushing fire dragons into the opponent's army and then, resurrecting them later.
I want to say thank you, the Exiled one. That's a really cool answer. And it looks like we have some interesting factions going on here, because we got Harlequins, we got the Ynnari, we got the Gene Stealer cult, we get the Exarchs leading everyone. This is a very interesting and bizarre Craftworld. I kind of love it. I'm here for the weirdness. I really dig it.
Our Craftworld doesn't have Farseers, so they can't see anything coming.
They just have to react.
So it's up to the Harlequins to tell them what's happening, and then they leave. I love this.
So we have the next section is, what are our relations with the other Aeldari?
Okay. All right. Are you ready for this? Positive should be one of them, but it's probably not.
No, you're for the first one though. You're gonna love.
I lied with the Exodites. That's the answer right there. Boom. Got it. Dinosaur elves. Amazing. We're going with that. The Craftworld maintains strong, almost familiar bonds with the neighboring Exodites worlds. These warriors protect maiden worlds with the same fervor as they would other craft worlds. The Exodites, Phoenix Lords, and ancient Wraith Lords sometimes fight alongside the craft world's host. I absolutely love this. If we can have dinosaur elves as an ally, that's fantastic.
Could we have Wraith constructs that are also dinosaurs? Because that would be ghost robots in the shape of dinosaurs would be amazing.
Look, if Transformers can do it, we can do it.
Right? Me, Grimlock, approve this message.
Yep. Corsair ties. Many of the Craftworld's outcasts wander the void as Corsairs, but they have never fully severed their ties. Corsair fleets regularly return with rare resources, intelligence, and occasional military aid. I could definitely see this happening. Like, this makes a lot of sense for us because we don't have Farseers. We need ways of getting information out there. Deep in debt to the Dark Kin. Oh, Skari is mad at us. At some point in the past, the Craftworld entered a pact with the Drukhari that it never fully repaid. That's not a good
No.
thing, it turns out. That's
That's
actually very bad.
That's worse, though. You realize how that's worse.
Yes. Proud isolationists. They're introverts. They get invited out. They go, oh, dang it, plans got canceled. Guess I'll play video games.
They deport all their non-craft worlds, Eldari.
Yeah. This craft world trusts no other Eldari group. Well, that doesn't make any sense for us.
No, that I wrote that one early, and obviously that's probably not going to be the choice. Let's go ahead. I mean, I think we pretty much know what the answer is here, don't we?
Well, we do have to leave it up to chat, and while that's happening, we have 2 super chats to read.
You're right. Grab one.
Okay, I'll click it. There we go.
Super Orlock. Super Orlock, thank you so much. He says, obviously the Exarchs know all about the chaos, and just like a good background in Civil War to get everyone ready for the real wars.
Oh, using war to unify everyone.
I think he's making that canon, is what I believe. So
yeah,
let's
adding that to
under governance structure. I think.
Yeah,
the Exarchs know all about the small C chaos. I think he's talking about the Gene Stealer Cult and the other schemes.
Yeah,
and they allow it as a background Civil War to get everyone ready
for real
wars. That's what I think. That's how I would write that down. Very good one, Super Orlock. That's really rad.
That's evil.
Wolf Boy, Matilda of the Night, a spirit seer that leads a pack of particularly furious wraithhounds. Wraithhounds? Okay, I'm in. I'm in. I've never heard of that before, but I am in. Why not?
Sounds like something they could add to Kill Team, and because Eldar have animals on their craft worlds,
like the Gyrinx.
Yeah, so a pack of wraith constructed Gyrinx. Hell yeah. Also, apparently, rogue traders really like them too.
They do. Gyrinx are psychically active pets that enhance your own abilities to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm maybe I'm getting that mixed up, but I think that's how they work. And we got here. Oh wait, what?
Vera's here saying big Gyrinx fan.
Hey Vera, welcome. Vera is like my co-host for Lorebeards and Role Playing. You can catch us on Mondays at the same time as this show, where we talk about tabletop gaming groups, and we've had a lot of fun over there. And we got this super chat from Elemental Exposure. Oh, he's got a new guy. All right. Elemental Exposure says, our craft world needs a scout leader. Enter Pathfinder Kayanari?
Yeah, that's how I would read that.
Kayanari of the Black Mine. An epic rival. Oh, an epic rival of Coleman Canarius. Which was our character from the Gorgon's Talon Space Raid chapter. You should go check that out if you're curious about who the hell Coleman Canarius is and why it's weird.
It's such a good name, though.
It is. It's so good. I love it. It's so stupid, but it's so good. It fits 40K. I mean, I hate to say it. There's some really weird and dumb names in this lore, both fantasy and 40K on both sides.
Angron. His name is Angry.
Tic-tac-toe, right?
Yeah. Teeny weeny.
Just for 2 examples from each of the two sections. Ferris Manus, right?
Yeah, the Iron Hand.
Ricky Chapman says Don and Raw has a Force Club made from Dino Bones. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I will add that in. A Force Club made from Dino Bones.
Oh, it's meant to sound like canary. Okay. Canary. Yeah.
Oh, canary.
That's good.
Canary of the Black Mind. Canary. Now I get it. That's some tasty pun right there. I love a good pun. Oh my god, I dig it.
Kovu is so heavy that my leg is falling asleep.
All right, let's see what chat has decided. Chat has decided that we are. Would you like to guess what the top one is?
I'm going with Exodites.
It's
it
not
has to be
even
done.
not even close. It is absolutely allied with the Exodites. I suspected that right from the beginning.
I wonder. Okay, hear me out on this. Is our craft world basically this Eldar's Exodite world's moon?
No, because Craftworlds move. They do not. They are not stationary.
Yeah, but they could just
no. They don't do that.
if they
no,
really want to.
They don't. They would not orbit. For all the reasons that you talk about, why physics wouldn't work that way. They do not orbit worlds. They travel in the void of space, and they would not be a moon of an Exodite world. However, this is one of the cool things about Eldar. They are all connected through the webway. So the webway access that we have on our craft world leads to an Exodite world. One of the passages from the webway leads right to an Exodite planet. That's how we would share information and travel to and from and all those things.
Fair enough. Also, if a continent-sized planet ship flew next to a planet,
I knew you'd bring this up.
It would cause some damage to said planet.
Right.
Also, if you traveled at light speed and then stopped near a planet. Anywho, physics.
All right, we have a great enemy to discuss now.
Yeah, there are usually good ones. We have the Necrons. Obviously, the best rivals in all of the history of forever. The oldest enemy that the Eldar have ever fought. We have a Chaos Warband. A very, very specific one. Maybe the Cackling Death.
Oh, that would be fun.
Cackling Death. Just saying.
You could be.
The Imperium. Just all of it. All of that. They hate all of that.
Well, traditionally, the Imperium does not get along well with Eldari in general, so there's that. But again, not getting along well is very different than cannot initiate diplomacy at all, which is where that's where the Tyranids and the Orcs live. There's no diplomacy.
And then a rival craft world.
Which could absolutely be. Craft worlds will fight craft worlds. It's rare, but it does happen. And I think if anybody wants to, do a $10 super chat, you could just say it's this thing. I want them to fight the Hrud or the Slouth or the Rangdan. So we'll see what you guys come up with there. I think so. Where we're going with this, the greatest enemy of a craft world. I mean, I don't think it would be Tyranids, strangely enough. And this, to be clear, this is like a hatred. Like the craft world, it's not just like those guys mess with us a lot. This is like a hatred. Eldari feel things on a much greater scale than a human, although they feel the same emotions, they just feel them more intensely. So what would Eldari hate? The Imperium, they could certainly do that. They could hate the Necrons, which are their ancient enemy. They could hate, it could be Jakaro. They could hate them too.
God, it's the fucking Frieza scene. Hello, monkeys.
The Tau or the Votan are probably a little unlikely just in general, but that's possibilities. A Chaos Warband, though, does make a lot of sense. I think the Cackling Death would be a hell of a good enemy here, although the Cackling Death is already also fighting the Gorgon Stalins. But hey, what the hell? Why not? There's only war. Let's have everybody fight everybody. Everybody can fight everybody. And we've got a super chat.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, there we go.
The Exiled One. Can I ask if the Crown Keeper is an ally of this craft world? You certainly can, sir. Yes.
That makes a lot of sense, though, because of the rare resources of an Aeldari craft world.
Yes. Ally is going to be the Crown Keeper.
Ooh, that also means, well, that doesn't mean that without Farseers, they don't know what the hell is on board the Rogue Trader's vessel.
They don't know about the Crown. Yeah, they probably don't know much about it at all. But
they probably think the Crown Keeper has something to do with the Emperor.
I mean, they probably, to be clear, Eldari are really, really prideful, and they look at humans as being very below them most of the time. So they'd be like, the Crown Keeper, huh? That's cute. It's probably it's some human thing. We're not that interested.
I have stocks older than your entire race.
Also, the Exarchs specifically, since the Exarchs are in charge. Oh man, that's a fascinating idea of like how that alliance would work.
Mm-hmm.
Got a Joe Numbers Rebel Guard Regiment. Oh, that would be a good great enemy. Slaaneshi, based around greed, seeking the Eldar Soulstones to adorn their weapons and vehicles. Okay, that's rad.
You almost stumbled upon my Chaos Demon Regiment. My Chaos Demon Regiment goes, it's based off of the different levels of Slaanesh's domain, but they're based off of the Petrifying Forest. And what they do is they hunt soul stones to put on their outfits as jewelry and torture the souls within them for all eternity.
So chat says it's the Necrons, and we need to build a Necron dynasty, don't we?
At some point, yes.
I would like to do that. But also, Joe, I need a name for the regiment, and just give me that. But the blank, a Slaaneshi-based corrupted Astra Militarum.
Oh, what is
regiment.
What's the guard regiment? Not guard. Sola Auxilia regiment dedicated to the Emperor's children.
I don't remember.
The Phoenician Guard, I think, or something.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah, it could be something like that.
That could be interesting. Joe Numbers. Nope, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. Well, he'll eventually give us a name. I don't know.
Hang on, I do want to read this one real quick.
Okay.
That one looked interesting.
As a 5'6" axe-wielding bearded man, Sarquaitian says, on behalf of the Voltan, the Elgi, the Knife Ear, Aeldari, are always rivals, hoarding their wraith bones and shaving beards.
They need to bring... That needs to be a campaign book.
The War of the Beard in 40K?
The War of the Beard should be a 40K campaign as well. Saying.
I was one of the co-hosts on the episode, the Lorebeards episode about the War of the Beard, I love that. It was so much fun. So if you want to learn more about the War of the Beard, go check that out. And I am actually in that episode. So you get a double dose of Ross if you go do that.
Also, as a fellow axe wielder.
Oh, there's your Dane axe there in the corner.
Yeah, and I got my other axe right back here. Hang on.
Glittering host.
Yeah. As another axe wielder myself, I respect that.
Phoenicians Chosen are the name of the auxiliary.
Ah, okay.
I did not know that.
I knew it was Phoenician something. Because that's what my guard regiment is based off of.
Palatines. Yeah, there's a lot of different ones here. I don't know. I can't. Fiddlesticks. Yeah, Joe Numbers is going to have to get back to us on that name. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll get to it. Unique Tradition is the next one, and I will get that queued up.
Okay. We have 4 choices for you. The Rite of Remembrance. Once per cycle, the Craftworld falls into complete silence. Spirit Stones open the Infinity Circuit to the entire population, and the living hear the whispers of their ancient directly, which kind of sounds horrifying. Did you clean your feet?
It does. It actually fits our Craftworld really well, though, I think.
It does. It does. But I'm just imagining, like, oh, man, you're such a disappointment. Oh, come on, Bob.
The next one is actually my favorite, though.
The Torments of Path?
The Tournament. The Tournament of Path.
Tournament of Path, sorry. Every generation, the Craftworld holds a vast multi-week ritual competition where young Eldari are tested across the paths. We'll just stop with across the paths. I absolutely love that idea because it is just the Olympics.
It's the Eldar Olympics. Yeah. For each path has its own, they get judged based on how good they are, and they hand out medals, and I don't know, there's probably a guy spraying himself down with Eldar champagne. at the end. The tournament arc. Yeah, somebody pointed that out.
It's the tournament arc.
Yeah.
The drifting tombs. Instead of what is that? Instead of entering the Craftworld's greatest heroes solely into the Infinity Circuit, their soul stones are placed into small drifting wraithbone drones. Oh, that's so creepy. And cycles of the Craftworld like a halo of honored dead. Ugh.
And they form a psychic early warning system. So you have like a little constellation of tombs that surround the Craftworld as it flies around.
Oh, that's creepy. I don't like that one. That one scares me. And the War of the Unmasking.
Yeah, it's the Purge.
Oh, it is the Purge.
Hey,
this could be them going after the Gene Stealer cultists.
Yeah, you want to read that one?
Yeah. In the most dire battles, some of the Craftworld's warriors undergo a ritual that strips away any psychic disciplines that buffer their emotions. And the result is a terrifying surge of raw Aeldari passion and rage. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild thing to do. It's like, oh, we're about to go into battle. It's the Purge, everybody. You get to do whatever now. Woo! All discipline is released. My favorite though is the tournament pass. It's Drifting Tombs is really cool. I'm a big fan of that. Rider Remembrance is really cool. Any of these choices actually are pretty interesting. So let's see what chat has to say. But before we get there, Joe Numbers did give us a name, which is right here. Would you like to read? I can read that one if you like.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so it's the Midazi 31st. Let me just make sure I write that correctly. Midazi 31st. The Jeweled Hunters.
Oh, I like that.
They're a feudal regiment. Oh, I like that's even cooler. Chainmails and lasguns.
They ride giant hounds. Hell yeah.
Wow, their heavy cav rides giant hounds. Oh my god, this is so pulp. Oh, I love it.
I know a lot of people that use for their what are they called? The Attilan Rough Riders. They use they go to the fantasy stuff and they buy the Goblin Wolf Riders and they just put guardsmen on top of them and they always look just a bit silly but also awesome at the same time. Also, you get like 10 of them for the price of 5 Rough Riders. So, saves a lot of money.
And we got a super chat from Ricky Chapman. Hey, Ricky Chapman. Oh, we've got a new member of the notable figures. We have More Muravi, which translates to wise gambler.
That is such an Eldari name. Like strictly a Harlequin name.
He is a Harlequin solitaire.
Who let you out? Wait, get out of here. Go on, get.
He's a Harlequin solitaire. Oh, by the way, we did do some study on the solitaires, and I know Alexis did talk about them being soulless, as in like blanks or nulls, but that does not appear to be the most recent lore. It seems like they are moving away from the idea that they're blanks or nulls, and instead they're kind of in a weird, ambiguous state where Segarak has to gamble for their soul with Slanesh to get their soul back when they die. Like they place their soul at risk by being solitaire, but they're not entirely soulless, if that makes sense. That was something we did study.
Earlier lore states that they were weapons used against demons because their presence caused like disturbances, and it's like so they're blanks. And it's like
Well, Muravi stops by with strange companions like an orc freebooter, a Hrud, and a Jotaro.
Yes, we got the monkey on board!
Bringing news and rumors to the Craftworld.
Hell yeah, we got a monkey.
You got your monkey. There you go. Monkey.
I'm so happy.
My roommate is a big Godzilla fan, and so those Godzilla versus Kong movies, we went to see all of them, and I used to give him a bunch of crap about, what's Godzilla going to do what's King Kong going to do against Godzilla? Because, Godzilla's got atomic breath and stuff.
Well, it turns out plot armor is really strong.
No, they gave him a power fist.
Yeah, they did.
They built him a power fist so Khan could fight on even terms. Anyway, so we've done our ally, and we've done our. Did we do our unique tradition? We're voting on that.
Yes,
we're voting on it. So let's go see what chat has to say about the unique tradition. Chat says, let's see how it says. Still waiting for the answer. Why isn't this coming up? I don't know. It's not coming up. YouTube, you've betrayed me.
I blame YouTube.
What is going on? It's just not coming up.
You know, it's old. Sometimes it takes a bit.
Oh, there it is. Drifting Tombs. The Drifting Tombs is the choice. Although tournament was very close.
Oh, I wanted our tournament arc.
Listen, Drifting Tombs is still really cool if you think about it.
It is very cool.
It's really quite cool. I am down with it. Listen, there's no wrong answers here. I mean, we have our favorites, but there's no wrong answer.
Again, if somebody wants to change this and add the tournament scene or a beach scene, you can.
You are. I like how you're like, come on, we can do this. We can make it more.
Like, if you guys want a beach episode, you know, all you have to do is donate $10.
Or an onsen episode, right?
Oh, yeah.
Current dire circumstance. We should. Oh man,
we need a yandere character. Come on, Chad. We don't have a yandere character.
Anybody who knows me knows I watch a lot of anime. I watch a lot of anime, and I really love it. Freyren is amazing. If you guys haven't seen Freyren, please go watch it. It's so beautiful and so good. It's just astoundingly good.
I do love Freyren.
Oh my god. The second season.
Whew. I had to stop watching it because I was going to watch the whole thing, but I want to watch it with Victor.
Yeah, makes sense.
Speaking
you
of
should.
Victor,
you should watch
there
it.
There he is. Well, you can't see my camera, but he was right there.
There he goes. So our Joe Number says combine the traditions, do it, and it's a super chat. So all right, you know what? Sold. I will adjust.
Hang on, let's see if he's convinced. Yeah, he's convinced.
There we go. Tournament pass. All right, so but our Craftworld is currently under some sort of threat, and we need to talk about what that could be.
A prophecy of annihilation. I'm going to say the Harlequins have seen a single unrelenting thread. The Craftworld's destruction. They have searched every path, every twist of every twist of the scheme, but no alternative no alternatives present themselves. They have searched every path. Oh, I read the same sentence twice. I'm good at this. The Craftworld sails forward with the knowledge that it is doomed. They got to sing the Doom song now. Doom, doom, doom.
Well, yeah, but there's one of these options that is absolutely going to be chosen. I know. I can already tell which one of these is going to be chosen. So the prophecy of annihilation. Yeah, there is a prophecy from the Harlequins that our Craftworld is absolutely doomed. What's the second one?
The Sleepers Stir. Mm-hmm. Something ancient and strange within the Infinity Circuit has begun. Oh my God. It's Ross, you're going to hate this.
Yes, I will.
You're going to hate this.
I'm sure of it.
It's the Patriarch trying to become the Avatar.
No, dear Lord, no.
Which is a canon event.
I refuse. I refuse. Categorically.
If you want to see Ross lose his mind.
I will have a heart attack. I can't believe you're actually trying to get this happen. Jesus, the Patriarch, no. That is a terrible idea. But okay. Why could this happen though? Patriarchs, all Gene Stealers are psychic. Mm-hmm. And if he evolved from an Eldari, he's even more psychic, maybe.
Yeah.
And then he died and his soul was put into the Infinity Circuit, or he's infesting the Infinity Circuit somehow.
Apparently what happened is there's a chamber that you walk into and become the Avatar, and the Patriarch ripped the guy out of it and went in himself.
Yeah, but that was a book, a really dumb book.
Yeah. Look, I will fully agree with you that is incredibly stupid, but that did happen in a written and published Black Library book.
So the idea though, the sleeper stir is that something within the Infinity Circuit is starting to awaken, and they don't seem to know what it is, but it does seem to be bad. Like there's nightmares and stuff that are happening in the craft world. And the Exarchs don't know what it is, but they know that it was around since before they were born, and they know that it is becoming more aware. Whatever that is, that's the sleeper stir. What's the third one?
Population crisis. The craft world has fallen below the minimum number of souls needed to maintain the population and its war host. Every campaign now risks irreplaceable losses. They are losing too much and they cannot breed fast enough.
And then
It's
the last
a terrible thing. And then the last one, the enemy within. A corruption has begun to spread through the craft world's lower levels. Warriors return from patrol with strange behaviors, and some of the craft world spirit seers have begun to hear voices that do not sound like Aeldari.
This is the one that's going to get chosen. I'm almost certain people are going to go, oh, that's the G-Stealer cult. It's the enemy within.
Yeah.
That's the one that makes the most sense for that. Oh my God, that's
okay.
great.
We had a few super chats.
Yeah, please grab those. Wolf Boy. All right, Wolf Boy says that, let me just make sure I got my screen up here. Malt Enos is Hunting Hounds, Wraith Constructs. Yes, I do have that down. Let me just, Furious Wraith Hounds. Did you want me to add more about them being Wraith Constructs? But I mean, I kind of already assumed that they were, but very good point. Hunting Hounds, Wraith Constructs, Furious Wraith Hunting Hounds? I guess we can just call them Hunting Hounds. There you go. I'm doing my best here, Wolf Boy, but I think that's what you wanted me to clarify there. Thank you very much for that super chat. Watchdog says, not familiar with Craftworld traditions. Does it refer to the path system or a certain combat doctrine? Okay, so for this build, when we're talking about the tradition, it is related to the paths. It is not about combat. It is cultural. It is like the drifting tombs and the tournament. These are things you do outside of war. It's just like it's just a kind of a fun way of adding a little more flavor to the Craftworld's society. But I'm glad you asked the question because I probably did not articulate that very well, and I apologize for that. So thank you for bringing that up. What's the next one? Joe Numbers, hear me out.
I love the start of this.
Greater Demon of Vineyard, considering the sizable cult and preparation being done by said cult, is trying to be born. So they don't create greater demons. They're not chaos gods. And Enid or Eniad, they wouldn't. A greater demon just wouldn't make sense. However,
they could be trying to create an avatar of Enid.
Well, that is absolutely what one of our characters is doing. Majun of the Cold Gale. She's trying to build a body for Enid. So if you want to choose, if you guys, I'll tell you what, if you guys choose that current dire circumstance of the Strange Awakening, we can say that is related to Eniad and it is part of what Majun is building, if that makes sense. Is that Joe Numbers? Tell me if I'm way off base, but I think that's kind of where you're headed with this. Right.
And then we got one more super chat.
Ricky Chapman. In front of the Avatar of Cain, the G-Stealer Patriarch and the Wraithseer Den and Ra face each other for the souls of the craft world.
That is the super chat, just saying.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So that has to be, is that, let me just clarify. Are you talking about historical events? Are you talking about the current dire circumstance? Because that seems like extremely imminent. Or are you talking about something else like a prophecy? Because I want to be clear when I want to add this information. I do, but I want to make sure I'm clear and I do it the way you want it to be done. So please clarify a little bit for me on that, and I will be sure to add it. Let's see here. Ricardo Andre. Ricardo, it's been a long time. Ricardo Andre says, greater demon in the sense of an etheric entity associated with the Eniad, much like a greater demon is to a chaos god. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking like it could be, because the Avatar has been in the past described as a demon. He had the demon keyword at one point. but yeah, the reason I wanted to clarify that, Ricardo Andre, is that greater demon does have a very specific connotation in 40k, and the Eldar typically are not associated with that, aside from the few mechanical references to demonhood of the Avatar. But and again, that's old lore. I don't think does the Avatar have the demon keyword now? I don't think he does.
I think he still does.
Does he? Okay, well, all right then. So if it's in current lore, then that does modify things a little bit.
I'd have to double check because I don't have the current codex, but I do believe that he still has the demon keyword.
Joe Numbers says Ricardo's right on the money. Okay, so that is what Joe Numbers was talking about, was etheric entity associated with kind of like a greater demon, but not actually a greater demon.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's still a little. Oh wait, Ricky Chapman says something that's happened recently. Okay, so it is not the current dire circumstance. It is just an event.
Okay.
I'll add it to this. It's part of the current dire circumstance. Let's just say that, because it is such a cool story.
Still demon keyword. Thank you.
So yeah, so at the Avatar of Cain, if the Avatar of Cain is considered a demon, then an Avatar of Vinyad would be the same. I would agree.
Yeah.
Technically not a greater demon, but like on the Venn diagram, there is a sliver where they overlap, and that would be where that lives.
Yeah.
So in front of the Avatar's chamber, the Gene Stealer Patriarch and the Wraithseer, Dan and Ra. What a cool name that is.
I'm just going to say that Wraithseer would absolutely demolish a Patriarch.
For the souls of the Craftworld. Well, you'd think so, but I have played Aeldari enough times to tell you, I have confidently charged in a Wraith Lord against something he should be able to beat, and have lost. The dice can always screw you when you least expect it.
The secret of Gene Stealers is once they charge you, they die. So you let it charge you, and then you'll win.
There you go. That's probably a good way. Let's see what the chat has to say here. The current dire circumstance is the enemy within. Of course it is. Of course it is. Naturally, it's the enemy within. I knew it. As soon as that came up, I was like, it's going to be the dire. It's going to be the enemy within. The Gene Stealer cult.
Ricardo Andre is correct on this. There are alien demons that are not considered chaos.
He's right. I mean, Ricardo's superpower is that he's right, and I always disagree, and then I always get talked into it. That is basically his superpower. Because I'm like, well, they're not technically. I mean, they are demons, but they're not demons.
The one thing I will always correct people on, though, is that Celestine is not a greater demon.
Well, I mean,
nope.
Okay. Here's where I would say I'm going to be the
in relation to greater demons of chaos. Like, I would not consider her a greater demon. I would consider her an avatar of the Emperor.
See, that's where we're going to disagree.
A demon, but not a greater demon.
See, here's where we disagree, because if the Emperor is a god, which we seem to believe that he is, the consensus seems to believe he is a god, and his presence in the warp is as strong as it is, which it definitely is. There's no question about it. And if he has the capability to become the fifth chaos god, which according to the lore, he absolutely does, then under those circumstances, A, the Emperor is a god, B, he could be the fifth chaos god, C, he has the power to do this, then ergo, ipso facto, the living saint has all the characteristics you would expect of a greater demon. Supernatural abilities, comes back from the dead.
Specifically,
wings.
Greater demons have to willingly give themselves up to try to gain that power and can become chaos spawn.
I mean, you could argue that
Celestine has never
requires self-sacrifice.
Celestine has never become a chaos spawn.
Martyrdom is a core concept of the Imperial faith. Like, I think you could. I'm not saying that Celestine is the greater demon. Okay, to be really clear, I'm not saying.
No, she's just she's like
adjacent
in the same.
Adjacent.
Yep.
That's where I stand. Is that she's not a greater demon, but she's really close.
Also, I would argue that the chaos spawn of the Emperor are the Legion of the Damned.
I mean, that's a
That's
really
what your
fascinating.
adjacent thing would be.
So if you want to know more about what we're talking about right this moment, which is about the power of faith and the Emperor being a god and all that, we did an episode on the power of faith with Vera Samilla, and you can go check that out. It's actually a really good episode. We dug deep. And I should just take this opportunity to say, if you really enjoy the deep dives into the grim darkness of the far future that we do here on Lorebeards, it would help us out a lot if you hit the like and subscribe button so that we can spread our heresy through the algorithm to other unsuspecting minds. And we do appreciate your support.
Also, we're getting told to focus.
What is this? Y'all, focus. LOL. Sean never.
Never.
Listen, if Andy and Ryan get to go off on tangents, why can't we? I feel like we could, occasionally get a little excited about an idea. And these are ideas you guys have given us. Like, it's not like we're just spontaneously coming up with this. We're riffing on stuff from chat. I hear you, Joe Numbers. I do. We're going to get back to it. In fact, let me go ahead and stop that. We need to start a new poll, don't we? Oh, we've got a super chat. Super Urlock, Pathfinder Brilliant is having a spy v spy conflict with the Gene Stealer Majos. Okay, that's rad.
Oh, I like that.
That is rad. Pathfinder Brilliant. Here we go. Did I misspell it? I've got Brilliest here. You'll have to tell me if that is wrong. Let's see here. She is engaged in a spy versus spy conflict with the Gene Stealer Majos. Very cool. Very, very cool. I dig that a lot. All right. Our last option is going to be about the Craftworld's defining legend. What is the major thing that our Craftworld has done to give itself notoriety or glory?
All right. So we got 4 options here. Boom. We got the Altark who held the gate. This actually reminds me of that the Viking that held the bridge.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. In a terrible war long ago, a single Altark sealed off a collapsing webway gate, holding it against an endless tide of enemies alone for 3 days and nights. Yeah, this is that. This is that exact story. I love that. The Craftworld escaped, but the Altark perished. I absolutely love that. I think that's really good. The Farseer who refused fate. All right, we're going to change this to the Harlequin who refused fate. A Harlequin looked into... wait, did you already post everything?
No, not yet. But I mean, it could be a Farseer from before the corruption.
Oh, that's fair.
It could also be a Shadow Seer of the Harlequins if we want to adjust.
Do we want to do Farseer / Harlequin?
I'll put Shadow Seer as an option.
Yeah. Looked into the skins and saw only the Craftworld destruction. Instead of following the appropriate fate, they chose an impossible path, defying the usual flow of the skein. Against all odds, the Craftworld survived. I do actually really like that. The Farseer later became a Crystal Seer. Ooh, nice.
Which those can still be around. The Crystal Seers can absolutely still be around.
Yeah, those are extremely rare. The night a Phoenix Lord walked here. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey. Anyway. See, I don't have to put on an accent. I just have to drop my fake accent and talk like normal self. During a battle that should have been lost, one of Kane's Phoenix Lords appeared in the Craftworld's Aspect Shrine, wielding a blade of blazing wraithbone, and turned the tide of the war. No one knows why the Phoenix Lord came, and it vanished immediately after the battle. I also really like that one. I think that's pretty neat and pretty heckinito burrito. I do like the idea of a lone Ronin coming to save the day and then disappearing before they, the Betrayer's redemption. I'm a sucker for redemption stories. Long ago, the warrior of a Craftworld fell to darkness, joined a chaos warband. Holy hell! And helped lead enemies to the Craftworld's doorstep. In the end, however, they sacrificed everything to destroy the very threat they had once served. The Craftworld's people tell their stories not as a warning of betrayal, but as a testament of the possibility of redemption. Again, another like samurai story. I really like that one too.
You know what they need to do is they need to do a wolf and cub for the
Mm,
Eldari, like the Mandalorian, basically for the Eldari,
yes.
and
Yes.
have an Eldari aspect warrior or even an Exarch. But I think aspect warrior would be more fun. With an Eldari child and like taking them around everywhere to go. That'd be pretty wild.
I mean, parental stories seem to be like the big thing of the late 2020s.
Well, let's put it this way: Pedro Pascal has made an entire career out of being the father for a magical child.
Or like a Scorched Child to MacGuffin.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many. There's this really fun little sci-fi movie he did that has that plot, and it's really funny because the first 20 minutes of the movie are bad, they're boring, but then Pedro Pascal arrives and everything becomes cool. It's like it instantly becomes a much better movie when that happens. It wasn't when I don't think that was in theaters, and I'd have to look it up to get the name of it, but it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
What is your favorite of these?
Oh, let's see. The Ronin coming to save the day, the desperate samurai seeking redemption, the samurai that held a bridge, or Viking in this case that held a bridge, or the Farseer's Gambit. I like the Altark holding the gate.
I do too. I'm a big fan. The movie
Yeah.
I was thinking of is called Prospect, and I think you can find it on Hulu, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, my favorite. I like the Phoenix Lord one a lot, but the Autark one is also really good. Like I think those are my top two. The Crystal Seer is good though too, because we just haven't done much with Farseers because of the history we came up with here. But it's actually really cool. So let's see what chat has decided. Oh, just like Pedro Pascal in the Great Wall. Oh my God, was he in the Great Wall? Oh my God, I didn't know that. That's wild. Oh, we've got a tie.
Uh-oh.
We have a tie between the Farseer who refused fate and the Autark who held the gate. And I think the rule is we do both, right? If it's tied.
We do both because that makes total sense.
All right, you're going to have to weave this together for me a little bit.
Okay. So, the Altark was going to it's the damn Tony Stark moment when he talks to Doctor Strange. I looked into the future a billion times and I saw one where we won. And this is the one where the Altark has to hold the gate.
So this would have to happen early in the Hecker. This is like a very early, maybe when the Craftworld was like fleeing the fall of the Eldar, this happened. But how does this? So the Farseer only sees one way, and the Autark's like, "Cool, I'll be the one," and stands and holds the gate. While the Farseer's like, "No, I will refuse. I will change that fate, even though I only saw one way."
I think them saying the one way is what leads the Altark to actually sacrificing themselves.
Okay. All right. The Farseer saw only one way to win. He and the Autark sacrificed themselves. You hold the webway gate and cast out the invaders.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, that's our defining legend. So there's only really one thing left here, isn't there? What is that one thing?
The name of the Craftworld?
Boom! Shakalaka. Got it in one. What is the name of our Craftworld? So I don't have options here.
This is completely up to chat, and best name is going to win this.
Well, best or consensus, I think maybe. Do you have how would you like to do this? I'll leave it up to you, Alexis. What would you like to do for? Because if it's best, then you and I are the judges, right?
Okay. We want to name it on something Celtic, right?
I mean, ideally, but not necessarily required.
Okay. We could call this like Morgan's Ravens.
Okay, I'm asking though. Are you going with something that we judge, like from chat, or is it consensus based, or what's the rules?
I think we give an idea, and if chat comes up with something better, we give it to them.
Okay. Fair enough. So what we have, let's just go over what we have again so people can hear. We were separated, our origin of departure. We left because of the ancient war with the enslavers. So basically the enslaver plague finally reached the furthest out Craftworld, and that was us when we were leaving the Aeldari Empire. Our size and our population, we're big Craftworld. Lots of people, big avenues. Architecture is very expanded. This is a bustling, thriving Craftworld. Our primary color scheme is verdant green and pale gold, which is very Celtic. Our symbol is the cracked moon. How are we gonna? We need to figure out how that connects to the legend somehow, I imagine.
Yeah.
Our cultural focus is Path of the Bone Singer. We have a famous squad of constructs who hide as elaborate statues within the Craftworld. That's so cool. Love that. Military specialization is the Ghost Host. So Wraith Lords, Wraith Guard, and Titans are big. We have a lot of those guys walking around. Oh, Nathaniel Robinson. What a great idea.
I love this.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm going to add that in. The Autarch Sacrifice is one half of the Broken Moon.
The Broken Moon.
The Farseer's Choice is the other half of the Broken Moon. Very good. That's thematic.
And then we got a super chat from Spitfire.
Oh, he even gave me the pronunciation. Thank you so much. I hate it when I don't know how to pronounce something. All right, Kalyak Banreen. Very cool. Exarch of the Shadow Specters.
God damn it!
They got you.
God damn it!
An elusive figure that spreads rumors that call the existence of her own shrine into question. Okay, she's got to be on the council though, right? She's got to be one of the leaders.
Yeah.
Oh, is she the leader of the council? For extra pain for Alexis, she is the leader of the Craftworld.
Don't you do that. If this is the leader of our Craftworld, I'm not going to throw anything because I can't afford anything, but I'm going to think about it.
Exarch of the Shadow Specters. God, that's beautiful. An elusive figure that spreads rumors that call the existence of her own shrine into question. Somebody asked me sometime about my typing speed. I'll tell you why I type so quickly. Man, that's great. All right. Sorry, where were we? Cultural focus, Path of the Bone Singer. Craftworld Rocinante, the horse of Don Quixote.
That is amazing, and I think that has to be it.
I don't know. We got to give him a little more time. I think.
Yeah, but it's Don Quixote.
I mean, man of La Mancha, right?
He is the man of La Mancha.
So notable figures, we have Majun the Cold Gate, who's our ancient bone singer. Chamberlain Letrium, who is an infected member of the Genestealer cult and a rival of Majun.
Oh,
Pathfinder.
I think we forgot this one.
Did we? Okay. So Torque, the exiled one. Torque believes that the living is tainted by the cult and only in death can they be saved. Very cool. I am adding that right now.
Thank you for that. If we do miss any, please point them out so we can get them.
By the cult and only in death can they be saved. Very good idea. Yeah, and I'm sorry if we missed that. We were distracted and there were quite a few that happened all at once. Apologies on there.
But we got
not intentional. Dan and Ra, who's our Wraith Seer. Love it. Torque, who's our Lady Bone Singer, follower Viniad. And only in death can they be saved. What a great idea. Malti Neos, Matilda of the Night, a spirit seer. She leads a pack of particularly furious Wraith hunting hounds. I love that. I think that's so cool.
I love that too.
Pathfinder Canary of the Black Mine. More Muravi, our Harlequin Solitaire, and Kalyak Banreen, Exarch of the Shadow Specters. I suspect that this will be the overall commander. I think that will be the first among equals. Our most celebrated aspect shrine are the Howling Banshees, led by Cleona. The Infinity Circuit is deep and ancient, and I dig that. We are governed by the Exarch's Dominion, and they know all about the schemes and the G Seal cult, but they're just letting them happen so that the Craftworld will be prepared for real war.
Be prepared.
The Farseers were corrupted by Slaanesh and killed by the Exarchs, which is the greatest wound that the Craftworld has ever suffered. Oh, we got another super chat. Joe Numbers, Rocinante, where warriors' constructs were painted as the celebratory dead. Oh my God, the Day of the Dead. Woo!
Oh, that's a good one.
Bright colors and face painting to match the green gold. We have, oh my God, we have Dia de los Muertos for our Wraithguard. That is freaking amazing. Mwah.
Yep.
Chef's kiss, Joe Numbers. All right. That's, I think that is a winner. What do you think?
The Don Quixote one is real good, though. But yeah.
No, he's keeping it. Rocinante.
Oh, yeah.
Rocinante. But the military specialization we need to add here, the constructs are painted as celebratory dead, aka Dia de los Muertos. The bright colors and face painting matches the green and gold color scheme.
Mexican Eldar, let's go.
Oh my God. I am here for Day of the Dead Wraithguard. That is so cool. So where were we? Oh, the Great Wound. That was the betrayal of the kin. Our stance on Iniad, we fervently embrace Iniad. Craftworld Rocinante is all in on the God of the Dead.
It makes sense because of the Day of the Dead theme.
Yep. Webway access, we have the Laughing God watches, which means we have a lot of Harlequin visitors, which is good because all our Farseers are dead. We are allied with Exodites, which is good because all of our Farseers are dead. The great enemy was the Necrons, but it is now the Midazi 31st, the Jeweled Hunters. Another super chat. Look at this. The Exiled one. Oh my God. Okay. Look at this. The Exiled one says Tamashar Kikadari, a striking Scorpion Exarch devoted to Iniad, known as Ivrain's final word.
Oh, that's nice.
That's rad. The last argument of kings. I love it so much.
Also,
so my previous favorite one was the Crown Keeper. This is like right up there. The Craftworld and the Crown Keeper are just like my two favorites. So good.
I do like the comment we got over here. We got Hispanic Eldar before we got Exodites.
We sure did. All right. He is devoted to Iniad and is known as Ivrain's final word.
That's dope as hell.
That really is like so that. Dope. Let's see here. We are allied with the Exodites. Our greatest enemy are the Midazi 31st, the Jeweled Hunters. They are Slaaneshi corrupted band of Astra Militarum regiments based around greed, and they seek Eldar soul stones to adorn their weapons and vehicles. They're feudal world regiments, which is awesome, known for riding giant hounds on their heavy cav, which is even more awesome. The giant hounds probably end up fighting the wraith hounds that we have, I imagine, when they conflict. They probably that's the two forces that meet first in battle. They're allied to the Crown Keeper, which is pretty cool. Their unique tradition is the Drifting Tombs and the Tournament of Paths, which is so awesome because those are my two favorites. That's so cool. The current dire circumstance is the Enemy Within, a Gene Stealer cult, which in the front of the Avatar's chamber, the Gene Stealer Patriarch and the Wraithseer down in Ra faced each other for the souls of the Craftworld. Love it. Their defining legend is an Autarch who held the gate and the Farseer refused fate, which led to the Broken Moon emblem of Craftworld Rocinante. What a cool creation. Damn. I'm
so glad we got a Don Quixote reference, a Day of the Dead reference, and Hispanic Eldar.
Does anybody please let me know if we missed any cool additions to these things along the way. You guys have been wonderful, and I am so proud of this. This is a really good Craftworld, y'all. If Games Workshop ever watches our shows, which they might, then I hope they get some ideas out of this because that is super rad. I would write a whole novel about this Craftworld.
Yes, Yes.
I would absolutely do it.
Just like you could tell it from the cult's point of view too. It's because you know how GW books typically go well, character A, character B, character A, character B, and that's their writing style.
Ricardo says, just something if that is meant to be Spanish pronunciation, I believe that C is pronounced K. So Rocinante?
Yeah.
Is that? Huh. Okay.
Rocinante.
I feel like I've seen Spanish words with the C pronounced, more like a C, but I mean that's possible. No. I don't know. I am not a native Spanish speaker, so take this for Portuguese. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I will totally give you the expertise on that because I am not a native speaker. So Rocinante, that's still very cool. I like the way it sounds.
God, we got Hispanic Eldar. That is so cool.
Ricardo, are you in Brazil by any chance? Is that why you? I mean, I'm just curious. I have a game setting that's very popular in Brazil called the Cursed, and I was just kind of curious if you'd ever heard of it. But no big deal. Yeah, the more you know. That's the exiled one. I love it. What are your final thoughts on this Craftworld, Alexis?
So this might be a weird thing, but I want to know more about those guard. Like, I
They're
want to
pretty
know more
cool.
about the guard.
I think we're gonna have to do a let's build a renegade guard regiment, right?
I want to know how the rogue trader like helps or benefits them. I guess having a rogue trader on call with their fleet to come and defend the craft world is always useful. Or if they're away, they could send the craft world. They could send the rogue trader to the Exodite's homeworld to protect it.
Here's a thought: what if they trade their art, like the statues and the sculptures and stuff like that, to the rogue trader?
Ooh, yeah, that could be. That is definitely something a rogue trader would want to trade in.
Really high quality Wraithbone art would be very valuable.
Well, like it would sell to high-end collectors and it would sell to people who want Xenos artifacts.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. That's planetary governors giving up like a year's wage money.
Oh, Ricardo Andre says you were right. It's C, not K. Okay, it is Rocinante.
Yeah, it's old Spanish.
Okay, that's how I'd always heard it pronounced. But yeah. I was willing to give it. He's a native speaker of Portuguese, so I'm like, I'm going to give it to him, bro. I don't know. We got another super chat. Joe Numbers, feel free to use the Jeweled Hunters as a base for the Rebel Regiment. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. That would be super cool. I agree. We need to do one of that.
But the Aeldari art and everything like that, like they could sell prosthetics and all sorts of other things.
That is also true. I think the rogue trader would be a little. He would also probably be really interested in the fact that this Craftworld has so many connections, like to the Exodites and the Harlequins, and there's the only thing they're missing is like Corsairs and Chikari, but even then, I mean, they probably still meet them from time to time. And the rogue trader would probably show up and just be like, "Oh baby, look at all this stuff I could get. This is gonna be great."
Yeah, just one cargo hull filled with art, and like. Because the Eldar do have jewels that aren't soul stones. They have jewelry that is not soul stones, and they have other types of art, paintings, and all sorts of other things. And even Eldari script is worth money in the Imperium because having any of that is so important. Well, it's a status symbol essentially.
Path of the Bonesinger being the cultural focus, it means that the art would be primarily Wraithbone focused, I think, rather than paintings. I mean, I know you said painting, and that's fine. I mean, it's fine if it was paintings, but in my head, what it suggests is more like sculptures and art and utensils and trinkets.
The way I see this though is young bone singers would actually have to practice physical art before they can master Wraithbone singing.
And that's what they sell to the traders, all the student work.
Yes. Which, to the Eldari looks bad, to the humans is fantastic. So I could definitely see them parting with like tons and tons of materials worth of like, artwork, and maybe even getting the raw artwork from like the papers and everything like that from the Rogue Trader themselves. But I think the Rogue Trader is going to be trading in information and defensive capabilities.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did say that our road trader had a pretty sizable void fleet, so
Yeah.
that would be helpful. To this craft world, it would definitely be helpful. The cracked moon is a cool symbol. Big fan of that. Love the color scheme. Do you have any thoughts on the notable figures? There's so many.
I really like them. I like that we have an ongoing narrative with that patriarch.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we have a literal ghost warrior leading it. I don't like them as much, but I do like that they're there because it fits the theme.
The only remaining Farseer is a Wraithseer.
Yeah. I gotta say, I think my favorite is actually the head bone singer. I think they're amazing.
Majun the Cold Gale. Yeah, they're trying to make a vessel for Iniad. And I can imagine that workshop just being full of all these different versions of what Majun thinks Iniad would want to be. Just all these different things. Alexis, for your sake, is this Craftworld larger than a moon?
So a Craftworld is at minimum continent size, and is twice as large as the biggest Imperial vessels.
Right, but we're an especially big Craftworld.
I would say that this is probably bigger than a medium. It's about the size of a medium moon.
That's no moon.
That's an Eldari Craftworld.
They're heading for that small moon. Yeah, that's great. I got there first. Let's look here.
They were typing.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. There's no rivalry here. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I like that the aspect shrine is the Howling Banshees, and it contrasts with the silence. That was a cool idea. Really dug that. The Infinity Circuit being deep and ancient is really interesting. There's a lot you could do with that in terms of a story. But the Exarchs being the ones really in charge. That's so much story you could talk about there.
Well, like there is one Farseer still alive.
No, he's not alive. He's a Wraithseer.
Well, yeah, Wraithseer. So the alive is in quotes as well.
Right, but that's why he can't be in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the Eldari typically are like, you're not actually alive. You need to not,
Yeah.
Even Ayandin is reluctant to involve the dead in their councils. Oh, we got a new one. Joe Numbers, Big Pop mixed with taking on Exodites, mixed with big population, is what he said.
Yeah.
Mixed with taking on Exodites, mixed with massive army of the dead. It's got to be a moon. A good point. It does. Very good point. Moon size. Should I add that as a thing?
Yeah, add that this is a very, very large craft world. Oh, Kofu's trying to open the door. Oh, this is also true. Ricardo Andre says Exarchs being in charge means Kane is hard in this craft world's life, directly or indirectly,
as a military rulership. Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yep.
However, this craft world is fully dedicated to Iniad. So Kane is cool. We like Kane. We don't mind Kane a bit, but our favorite is Iniad.
It's kind of like when a teenager wants a different band, so they look at the wall and they have like the old band poster and they put a new band poster over it. Like, the old band poster is still visible, but
I still love Styx, but the Black Eyed Peas are great. So I don't know. That's wild.
I do love the idea that the Exarchs are in charge, because imagine how strict the wake-up calls are. Like, you're getting full military wake-up calls, full military drills. Everyone there is probably like Like the Guardians are probably not just citizen soldiers; they're probably like experienced in
Yeah, it's
warfare.
a little bit like the Elfway Black Guardians. They're just like
Yeah.
they're very commonly called up. Um, the allyship with the Exodites is really cool too. I dig that a lot. Oh, we've got
Mhm.
another super chat. Wolf Boy, would the Bone Singer, the Dark Eldar flesh crafters? I'm sorry, Wolf Boy, I don't understand the question.
Can you rephrase the question and send it back to us, please
Yeah,
and thank you.
I want to answer you. I just don't fully understand. I think there was one earlier that I was asking for clarification. I did we ever get that? I
I
think
didn't
we
see it, unfortunately.
okay. I apologize if there may have been one earlier that I asked for clarification on, and if you did clarify and I didn't get it, then I didn't get it. I am so sorry. The Exiled One says, Cain is the blood of life. Ennead is the breath of death. For Rocinante. Oh, I love it. Is that a battle cry? Ooh.
Let's add that as the battle cry.
I'm down. I am so down.
Like, let's
Battle
just add a
cry.
category, battle cry.
Why not? That is so cool. Cain is the blood of life. Ennead. I still like Ennead better. Ennead is the breath of death.
I think I like
Or
Ennead better too.
All right. That's amazing. You guys have been really good with this stuff today. Wolfboy, I'm so sorry. I wish I could figure this out. Would the Bone Singer...
I think they're comparing them.
Would the Bone Singer work with? I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. But that's a great battle cry. Big fan. We're the last few things that we got here. Oh, wait. You want to read this one?
Ricardo Andre says the entire population of the Craftworld is a militarist population. All professional militia for they served in the past. Woe unto the enemies of the Eldar, for Cain stands with us. In us.
Oh my God, it's God is with us for the Eldar. Oh, that's really cool.
Yep.
I dig that one. The Drifting Tombs in the Tournament of Past. This is where I would start my book about this Craftworld.
I think I would start it with the tournament arc.
Yeah, that's literally where I would start. Is I would do a tournament arc and talk about the tombs drifting around and talk about the Exodites taking part, and the Harlequins maybe are the judges, while the Exarchs are like, if you distinguish yourself here, you will gain a rank in our military or something like that. That'd be this is literally a young adult novel waiting to happen. It is so chock full.
I think one of the things they would look for though is if somebody died in one of their tournaments, they would look to them to see if they were chosen by Ennead to come back to life like Yvraine was.
That would be one of the ways you could earn yourself into becoming a Wraith construct, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow, that's neat. Oh, Joe Numbers. Majun has Dark Eldar contacts. Oh crap. This Bone Singer is getting deep.
Getting wild.
She has Dark Eldar contacts. She spent time learning incubi techniques to help her craft. Incubi? I think you might mean the homunculi.
Yeah.
But I'm going to add it anyway. It's your money. I'm going to put it in anyway. She spent time learning incubi techniques.
This does feel like a really fun RP setting.
Oh man, Ricky Chapman, you've got a brand new Craftworld for your 40K game.
And Wolfboy, I do see your comment. I am going to get to it right after we finish this one.
Dark Eldar mercenary help would be really cool. Yeah, I agree. We could add that to allies, I suppose. Let's see here.
I would add it as Corsairs and not Drukhari.
Okay.
Then
Drukhari aligned, maybe. Corsairs who work with Majun.
Hi, Kovu. Did you finish pooping?
Because mercenary Corsairs. Let's do that. How does that sound, Joe Numbers? You like that?
And then
homunculi, not incubi. Okay, I was right. It is a homunculi. That's what I was like, I think he's talking about homunculi.
And then I want to get to this one before it passes and we completely forget about it.
Wolfboy says, Alexis, what I meant is, would the lead Bone Singer work with Dark Eldar Freshcrafters? Yes, we literally just learned that instead of the incubi. Yes, okay, Alexis, very good point. Wolfboy was there before I was there. You're a smart man. You got some sharp eyes. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. because I got there, but I got there after you were already there.
Oh yeah, they could be aligned to Drukhari because they're aligned to Ynnari.
Right, you're right. That actually could come from the Ynnari link. That's a really interesting point. Let's add that here through the Ynnari.
And I got that from
connection. Nathaniel Robinson, yes, there you go. So they're not Drukhari aligned. Where's my ally section? Where did I put that? I can't find it. There we go. Ynnari aligned. And we will then they don't have to be Corsairs, then they can be Drukhari.
Drukharis.
Homunculi. All right, very cool. Dude, bros, this has been an excellent episode.
Yeah.
Look, Andre, Kane is in us, not with us. Literally in us. As Kane is the call of war and the joys of battle. The blood of life, as the exiled one said. So Kane is literally in them as they breathe. Wow. I mean, we are a militant Craftworld. That is exactly the kind of stuff you would hear as a propaganda on that place. I mean, the Exarchs certainly say that. I mean, I would imagine the Exarchs are the ones like, you know, every time the population's like, Idiot is great, the Exarchs are like, also Kane. Don't forget about it.
You mean Kane?
Yeah, right. Kane too. Don't forget. We're both two. We have two gods. Two gods. And we got this one from Ricky Chapman. The tournament arc awaits. The table is set. Are you ready to roll? Oh my God. That would be super fun. This is one of definitely up there with the Crown Keeper. I think this is an excellent.
This is a really good one. Also, again, it took turns that we were not expecting. Like we
Not
were
even.
expecting like Farseers and things like that. And the chat's just like, they're all dead. We don't like them. Throw them out.
I can honestly say I had no idea that this would turn out the way it did. And I'm so glad. I'm so grateful that you guys bring this kind of creativity to the Let's Builds. Let's Builds are probably one of my favorite things to do on this channel. But we also, so this is our Wednesday show. For people who don't know, we do our bonus episodes on Wednesdays. And this is when we do weird stuff like, hey, let's build a thing, or what if scenarios, or tier lists. And occasionally we even have like special episodes like the one we did with Vera about the power of faith on Wednesdays. So be sure to join us if you want to check out like a little bit of the wilder side of 40K. You'll find us here on Wednesdays on Lorebeards 40K talking about it. This is pretty much the last bit of the show. So we will see you guys again on Saturday for a episode that you get to vote on. If you're part of our Discord, you get notified about when the polls go up for what we're gonna cover as a topic. So if you're interested in that, you can go join our Discord. I don't know if we have any mods in the chat who can add the Discord link, but if you can, that's great. I could try it myself, I suppose.
Is it exclamation point Discord?
I think it is. What is anything else you'd like to add?
Well. If you want to check out our other work, we're both streamers as well. I do my own streaming and I have my own TikTok and everything. If you want to check that out, just check out this name on all of your favorite social medias. I'm currently doing some Warhammer Classic games that I might switch up and play some other games in the near future. You can find it all under Norn Queen Alexis. If you want to see my Viking stuff, you take a look at my TikTok. I do a lot on there. Ross, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me doing Twitch streams at twitch.tv/TheRossWatson. I'm also on Patreon as The Ross Watson, and you can find me doing all kinds of D&D NPCs and adventure ideas and magic items and stuff over there. It's more tabletop focused and 40K focused on my Patreon, but I welcome anybody who wants to check out what I'm up to in terms of tabletop game design. And we're both thing doers on the internet, as Vera would say. But you know, it's just been awesome to be part of the Lorebeards team here, and I'm excited to see where this goes. We just had a meeting with our guys, with Andy and Ryan and Lindsay and everybody, and apparently we're doing well. And we're doing well. So that's the good news is Lorebeards as a channel, we're growing, and it's looking good. So we're going to be doing more in the future. Anyway,
heck yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. As always, look out for polar bears. They're invasive.
And remember, in the grim darkness of the far future,
there is only lore.
see you guys next
Thank you
time.
for watching, everyone. Take care. Love you guys. Okay, bye.